Begin transmission.
This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
Well, hello, everybody. Well, don't look like we got a whole lot of folks here today. Let's see what's going on in the comments here. Bjorn, give me a 5x5 if my sound and video looks all right. We got Bjorn Jorgensen's in the house. Good to see you there, Bjorn. He's saying Sham Bollocks there for us. And we got John from Super Awesome Geek Show. Hey, John, how's it going, man? If you want to hop on, just hop on anytime you want to. I will post the StreamYard link here in just a second. Who else we got in the house today? We got Grindhead Jim. Hey, man, good to see you. Got that 5x5 from Grindhead Jim. Good deal. Nolan's in the house. Hey, good deal, man. Glad to see you, Nolan. And Bjorn gave me the 5x5. Good deal. All right. Good to see you guys in the house. I shortened my intro a little bit, so it may be a second for a few people come in because, you know, they're used to that long intro, but we're going to stop that long intro and we're going to just get right to business here on the show. And I'm going to go ahead and put the StreamYard link there in the chat so that any of you guys that want to hop on can hop on. Gilster 37 hopped on. All right, good deal. Good to see you there, Gilster. And here is the StreamYard link. Let's see if it'll let me put that in there. Hopefully it did. And Super Awesome Geek Show says building risers for some displays here in the main room. And he also says, I have a lot of work to do today and this week. Hey, all right. And what else? Turning the place from a toy room into a full-on toy condo, taking over. All right. Well, that's kind of what it seems like you've been up to since I've met you, John. It's turning your whole condo into just a huge toy museum and toy display place, and I love that. And I've got a chat going on here. If you guys want to tip me with Streamlabs, I get 100% of that money, and YouTube doesn't get a dime of it, which I'm glad of. I've got a pinned comment up there if you'd like to send me a tip. All tips will be appreciated and go straight towards making this show even better. And that's what I've been trying to do. I've been working kind of hard here. Trying to get everything looking pretty sharp. Super Awesome Geek Show hopefully be done by the end of the month and we can do a full-on tour. I can't wait to see that, John. I would love to see that. Earlier this week, I did something unusual here on the channel. I was able to come on about 3 times this week. I mean, we had a rant that was fun. We ranted about the Attorney of Playset, attracted a troll. It was fun, just fun. And then I decided to go ahead and drop that video that I'd been promising that I didn't do the day that I didn't work on the day that I did the rant. And I dropped that video on Friday and we had a live discussion afterwards. And what we did was we went into an in-depth analysis of the original storyline from the mini comics. Lax Sivrak has joined us. We've got Rolando Flores in the house. Hey, Rolando, good to see you, man. And we got Lax Sivrak coming on, man. Good to see you, Lax. You're a good guy, man. I got your little message. You send me a message every week wishing me a wonderful week. I love that, Lax. That's great, man. That's General Lax Sivrak, as a matter of fact. I have to keep remembering that. And it's good to see everybody in. Speaking of the original storyline, when we were doing the discussion afterwards, the live discussion afterwards, I had mentioned a commercial that they had made. And I don't know if this commercial was ever actually shown on TV or whether it was a commercial that was shown to the toy buyers in a presentation. However, what's interesting about this commercial is that it contains some animation that was done by Filmation before they did the Filmation cartoon. And this animation is interesting in that it doesn't match the Filmation look of the cartoon. It matches the figures, and the storyline that's told in that little short animated bit is the original storyline story. So I want to share that with you guys really quick before I do anything else while it's on my mind. So I've got it right here. Now, hopefully it's going to show up well. I'm doing this straight through OBS, and I'm not using StreamYards to help me boost it. So let's see how this looks. You tell me what it looks like, guys.
This toy comes with something that can really open up a kid's imagination. Its own legend.
He-Man! Skeletor is his enemy.
It's the Masters of the Universe collection. And for my kids, the legend begins here with Castle Grayskull. He holds the powers of the universe.
He-Man, Skeletor has captured Castle Grayskull. We must stop his evil power. To Grayskull! Defeat He-Man's forces, but leave him to me. Here I am, Skeletor.
He-Man! Skeletor is getting away!
But Castle Grayskull is safe with us. Nothing's safe while Skeletor is out there.
And so the legend continues in this Masters of the Universe collection. And in the imagination of my kids. Look for it. It's new from Mattel.
Well, y'all tell me how that looked. I don't know how well it looked on the stream itself. So just let me know. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Let's see, Lax Sivrak, I did not get a notification. Well, I don't know what's going on with YouTube on those notifications. Thank you, Gilster37, for messaging him and asked me why the hell I wasn't at the show. All right, good deal. Thanks, Gilster, for letting him know. Everybody check your notifications and make sure you've got all notifications turned on and you didn't just turn on a notification for one or another live stream that I've done in the past. Make sure you go to the channel page and turn on all notifications. And then you need to go in there and make sure that it's giving you those notifications and not just filtering them. So there's that. We got Rolo in the house. Hail, my good friend in chat. Love the video. Have so much to share. Your Stratos questions can be answered. All right. I can't wait to hear what you have to say on that. And let's see who else is here. Grindhead Jim says Filmation did this animation, and that shows Mattel on the show. Fun fact. Yes, that's a matter of fact. That's right. Mattel needed that animation done, and they wanted a cartoon show. And when they saw what Filmation had done for that, it gave them the wherewithal to go ahead and let them do what they wanted to do with it. And we got some more comments going on. Lax says he'd hate to miss me. Yeah, I try to get on every Sunday at 12 noon. So set your timers, folks. Just remember about 12 noon every Sunday that I try to hop on and hit the like button, says Gilster. Yes, I appreciate it if you would do that. And one of the things that I do want to let y'all know is the next Sunday I have an event that I have to attend, and I probably will not be live streaming next Sunday. It doesn't mean that I'm not live streaming ever again. It means that just that Sunday I won't be here. I have to attend that event. In such case, I may live stream either Friday afternoon or Saturday afternoon. But just keep an eye on things. I'll try to post something on Twitter and Facebook, and perhaps even in the community tab here, if that's the case, and let you guys know. All right, so what was I planning on doing today? Well, I wanted to show y'all that I finished my custom Beast Man, and I was going to show you how I do figure cases here. And I've got some figures that need to be put into a case, and so I've got the case that I'm going to use. I bought it at Walmart, and we're going to set it up and put the figures in it. So let's get started. Like I said, if any of you guys want to hop on with me, just hop in the green room. There's a link floating around up there. If you want to, Bjorn, you can take a hold of that link and let everybody know about it. I'm going to once again put this StreamYard tip link down here at the bottom. I want you guys to know that I appreciate any links that you have. I also have a Patreon page. If you want to be a Patreon of mine, please do. It will support my channel. It will help me to pay my StreamYard monthly dues to keep StreamYard going. And it will also help me to collect a little money to get an extra camera, so I don't have to keep using my personal iPhone over here for the toy cam. But let's go ahead and pull that toy cam up here. And just a second, let's see what's going on here in the chat. There's a large discussion going on here that I want to kind of catch up on before we get started. Let's see. Like Sivrak says, he's got the Wolf Cubs watching some Sesame Street 1969. And Sally, you ain't seen no you know what like this street baby. And let's see, we got Jim Largo in the house. Our buddy Will McLaughlin is doing a great job talking Transformers over on Ken's Toy Connection. Catch the replay later if you're interested. And that brings up an interesting point. You know, it's hard to do this every week when you're competing with each other and everybody's on at the same time. But I'm going to continue to keep this particular time slot open just for me. And you know, you have to decide who you want to go to. And Grindhead Jim has posted my Patreon. Please do consider being a Patreon. It would help me out quite a bit. And Laxivek says Ernie and Kermit sound exactly the same, and Bert is Oz. Totally Kermit and Miss Piggy. All right. So let's get over here to the toy cam. We're looking at the toy cam now. There's Beastman back in the background. This is a little recreation of the cover of the very first mini comic, He-Man and the Power Sword. And all of these figures that you see are actually customized in some way or another by me. The He-Man figure is a amalgamation of several different parts, but the head, as you can see there, is from Lee Customs. And back there in the back, you see a non-mustached man-at-arms. He is also has a head that was customized by Lee Customs for me. And they're both using the books and bodies that were from the set that was released, I think, of the Lords of Power. Now, was that a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, or was that Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Largo. I appreciate that, man. That's a great thing, man, that you're doing there for me, giving me a little tip there for my camera fund, and I appreciate that. All right, so we'll go into back over there to Skeletor once again. That's also Skeletor with uh, mostly Lords of Powers. Not actually not. I just used the shins from Lords of Power. The feet there are from Lee Customs. The head is from Lee Customs, and the loincloth and the harness there that he's wearing are from a regular Skeletor, but I painted the harness and everything, and put that Lee Custom head there on him. And back there in the back, we've got Red Beast Man. And if you go over to Lee Customs page, he shows you how to make that Beast Man. And of course, you have to buy his head and feet, but and it takes a little bit of paint. And I actually bought the parts that I needed separately. I didn't buy another Beastman figure and spend all that money just to get that. There is a seller that is on eBay called Chop Shop, and the Chop Shop sells various figure parts, so you don't have to buy a whole figure. All right, and I thought I would show you guys those. And if you have any questions about how I do my customization, just let me know. Also, somebody let me know if Gojitron hits the house. I really hope Gojitron shows up today. I have something that he sent me that I want to show you guys. Let's see. Let's see, was the Beastmaster also He-Man? I get confused about that movie. No, Beastmaster was not He-Man, but it was pretty close. You know, it was kind of a sword and sorcery barbarian type movie. But no, it was not. What was going to be the second or the sequel to the Masters of the Universe movie actually was rewritten into the movie Cyborg, if I'm not mistaken. And Bjorn Jorgensen says, I am your newest Patreon. Thank you so much, Bjorn. I appreciate you doing that. That will help out greatly for the channel, all the help that can be. And Lack says it was incredibly so close. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It was pretty good. There is another one that I like that's very He-Man like, and that's the Ator movie that they did. It's cheesy as all get out, but it is just absolutely a hoot of fun. If you get a chance, check that one out. And Grindhead said Beastmaster is worth a rewatch. You're absolutely right. And Lack says, I really dug that movie when I was a kid. And a lot of those old cheesy movies, you know, you go back and watch them now and you can see all the cheese and the camp in it. But when you're a kid, you just don't notice that kind of stuff. And I agree, like cheese is good, man. Cheese is good. And yeah, like I said, we all enjoy those cheesy movies back when we were kids. It was just a good thing to experience. All right, guys. What I wanted to do, let me stick me on the camera too so you can see me. Hey guys. All right. So we've got all these new superpowers figures here. And we need a place to put them. And so what I've decided to do, and I'm going to destroy the scene here real quick and move everybody into the background so that we can see what I'm up to here. Get you guys back here. Oh, Beast Man. Oh, everybody's falling down. Stand up there, Beastie. Stand up there, He-Man. Let's get his feet back in the position so they'll hold him up. There we go. I'm going to start tightening some of these guys' ankles up. They're just not holding up the bodies like they should, in my opinion. And I think I'm going to do that with a drop of super glue on the ankles. And what's nice about that is that super glue gets brittle and you can bust it loose if you need to, but it will tighten those joints up. It doesn't take very much. Now we got Superman and Batman and Green Lantern are here from the new Todd McFarlane Superpower set. And I've got a Man of Steel collection Superman, and I think I'm going to replace the rubberized cape on that one with a Cape Master cape. That probably will look better one of these days. And I have an old Toy Biz Superman who's actually not wearing a Toy Biz cape. That's an old beat up Superpowers cape that's on him. I don't know what happened to his original Toy Biz cape. It may be in a box with some accessories around here somewhere to be found someday when I'm going through it, if I ever get around to it. And here is a Dark Knight collection Batman, but he was colored with his blue and gray colors. I got that figure specifically because I like those colors. We have also a Batman Returns collection Robin, and that he's wearing the costume from the comic book there, but I think that they were originally going to have Robin in that movie, and he was going to be played by one of the Wayans brothers, if I'm not mistaken. And here is my new Toy Biz Robin that I bought recently for next to nothing on eBay, sporting a Cape Master cape. And here's that old Green Lantern that I found. Toy Biz Green Lantern. He needs to have a home to be in. And what are we going to use for a case? Well, I have got something that I bought at Walmart recently. It's a large craft carrier. And I'll show it on this camera here. This is it right here. And it's got separate compartments, and you're able to actually go in there and customize how those compartments are set up. So I'm going to open this sucker up and show you guys that it's got all of these little dividers in there, and you have to break them loose from their little spree, which I will do. And I think I need to use the hobby knife to do that. Yes, Jim, I will be careful. The handle is just going to snap into place on here. I've got to put the handle on, so I'm going to set that handle into its place there. And set this off to the side. And I need to get out something sharp. I'm going to use the hobby knife. And I'm going to cut these little dividers away from this sprue. And I'm going to do it off camera so I don't cut myself, because if I get on camera, I'll probably end up cutting myself. And I suppose it's all kinds of fun watching a man sit there and just cut little pieces loose, but that's part of live streaming, folks. I'm doing this live, cutting these little dividers away, because I'm going to customize how large the compartments are going to be in my case. And somewhere around here, and I don't know if I've got it handy right today, but I may show it some other time if I don't. I've got a Superpower sticker that was sent to me by a fellow who did some stuff. He did those comics, the comic collections of the original Superpowers comics that he sells on eBay. He sent me a Superpower sticker, and I'm going to put that Superpower sticker probably on the outside of this case when I find it. But of course, you can make your own stickers by finding the Superpowers logo somewhere online and printing it out on sticker paper. Here we go. Got that loose. And do this one, and we'll begin. And if I need to cut some more dividers, I will do so when and if I need to. All right. Let's see, one more here. Cut that little tab off of there. There we go. All right. And of course, when you get through using the hobby knife, always put the sheath back on it so you don't hurt yourself. And here we go. We're going to begin. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a figure in one of these slots, and I'm going to use that to decide how large I want my slot to be. And put the first divider in there. And that's about how big that each one of these slots is going to wind up being. So we'll do the next one next to it, and we'll start loading the tray up with figures. All right, so we'll put Green Lantern over here, and I'm going to start the first row with Superman. So I'm going to put the Superman here. I'm going to put him here, okay? And I'm going to put the Toy Biz Superman right here next to him. And then we're going to put in old Toddy Mac's figure right next to it. See how they line up in there. And then next to that, I think I'm going to put this Green Lantern. All right. And then another divider. And that in there like that, and we'll put Batman in that one, and we'll get another divider, and we'll put this Batman next to the Toddy Mac Batman. All right, so what does that leave us? That leaves us this here. Let's do that. And what else? Maybe I need to get, hang on guys, I got to cut a long divider here. So I need to cut the long divider here so I can perhaps get a couple more figures in there. I've at least got 2 figures I want to put in there, and maybe room for a third. Here we go. Cut. There we go. Got it cut. I'm going to put that hobby knife right back up, Jim, so I don't hurt myself. And that divider in there. And we'll put this Robin in one side. And we'll put this Robin on the other side. And we'll put Green Lantern in the part that's left there. There we go. Got him in there. And the lid popped off, and I'm going to pop it back on. It's just a simple matter of popping it back in place. There we go. Now I have all the figures inside the case, and I'm going to lay it over here on the camera for just a second. All right, I'll put some of this stuff back out of the way. And right here at the front are 2 compartments that you can put accessories in. And I have some accessories that I'm going to put in that compartment that go with the Green Lantern. I'm going to put the bulb in the compartment with Green Lantern because it's a large compartment, and that's a large accessory. He also came with this ring I'm going to pop that in there. I've also got his lantern, but it's in a Superpowers case. It's not here with me now. So I'm going to wait and do that some other time when I actually get that case out. But I've got all the figures are in this case now, and I'm going to give you all a chance to look at it. And as you can see, I have everybody inside the case. And this sticker here should be just a small matter of peeling that off. It's designed to be removed, so it just peels right off of there. And then there we have a new figure case for my newest figures. And you can see the Robins are over there on the side, and then Green Lantern in there. So now I have a new case to hold my Superpowers figures. I hope that gives you guys some ideas. And like I said, all I have to do is find that Superpowers sticker and put it on the outside, and that will take care of it. And let's see what folks are saying in the chat. Yes, the Trident's Studio Superpowers comics, when he sent those to me, he also included a Superpower sticker in that, and I'm going to use that with my new case here. And Nolan is saying, that's a great idea. I never would have thought of using one, and my daughter has tons of them. Yeah, that's what I use them for. I mean, they make great figure cases. Grindhead Jim says, someone click that StreamYard tip so Bill can buy some WD-40 for that chair. I need to get another chair, but I love this chair because it's so sturdy and it holds me up, but it does squeak, and every once in a while you guys can hear it. Let's see, Nolan says, hey, Bill, just tune. Hey, Ticket, man. Ticket, if you want to come on the show with me, please do, because I would like everybody to meet you. And maybe we can play some a tune of yours if you've got a video that you can share. That would be great. Yeah, Nolan, Jim's getting me on this chair. That case works great, said Largo. That's a good thing. And Nolan says could get it sticker paper and just print some. I also said that earlier. You can get some sticker paper and print some. But I kind of like that sticker that the Trident Studios fellow sent me, because it's got that that gold and reflective on it. It's kind of neat, you know, the way it looks. But anyway, yeah, that's what I got going on. And Ticket says he's not set up for streaming yet. Okay, man, but I'm glad you could show up, Ticket. And if you guys are wondering who the Ticket, thank you, Gilster. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, my friend. The Ticket is a musician. He's an artist. He has a band called the Red Velvet Rope Band featuring the Ticket. And if you want to hear some of his tunes, tune in Saturdays at 9 o'clock Central Time, 10 o'clock Eastern, to watch the Ancient Order of Men live stream. Ticket is in the music rotation on that show, and he does a wonderful rendition of Purple Rain. It's just great. And he also does the safety dance, and I love those two videos. All right. And he says, I'll get a few videos on my channel before long here. That's great. So the Ticket has a YouTube channel, and if you guys want to see some of his work in the future, head on over there and give him a subscribe and like his videos when he posts them up. And Lack Sivrak says, Gilster37 had a good question about the Sunman Target Pack. Well, let me go back up there and see if I can find that question, because I don't know if I can answer it or not, though. Oh, Gojitron's in the house. No one panic. I'm here stuck at work as usual. Okay, I hope you're still watching or at least listening there, Goji, because I'm fixing to open something up here in a minute. Going up. Bruiser Brawler's here. Hey, Bruiser, I missed you when you came in. Good to see you. And let's see who else. I don't. It's so far up I can't find it. Here it is. Gilster37 says, Bill, are you interested in picking up the Sunman 3-pack at Target? Okay, here's the answer to that. Not really. I wasn't planning on adding Sunman to the collection. And if I do add the Sunman figures to the collection, they'll just end up turning into custom figures for the most part. I have nothing against the Sunman line. It was a wonderful idea. And she did the lady who created it created that for her son so that he could have action figures that were figures of color. Basically, I'm trying to be nice about that because I don't want to piss people off, but it was a wonderful idea and it was a good line. It's not Masters of the Universe, and Mattel has folded it into the Masters of the Universe line. It was not a line I collected or was even aware of as a child, so that it doesn't really enter my radar. I have nothing against the figures. I hope that everyone who wants them gets them. I kind of wish that Mattel had given it its own branding instead of folding it into Masters of the Universe, but I know why they did. I think they were afraid that it wouldn't really sell on its own, and people would think that they were knockoff Masters of the Universe figures. And by folding it into the line, it gave it more legs, basically. So if you want to buy that for me, I will appreciate it if you did, but you don't have to, and I'd rather that you didn't because it's not really something that I want to add to my collection. And yeah, I understand there's nothing there yet, Ticket, but when I finish the show today, I'm going to run over there and find your channel and subscribe to it because I know there will be. And I'm sure that the JPR, I know he doctored up your videos to make them all pretty and everything. I'm sure he'll be able to send you those videos for you to upload. And Bruiser Brody, hey, all right. And Laxland, Artie Dards. All right, we got Gojitron says, I'm good with just having just Sunman and Pighead from that series. I thought about getting Sunman and Pighead just to say I had them, but space is so limited here, and I need to focus. And I'm gonna bring up an issue that came up recently since I'm on the space issue. Did get your tip, man. I did get your tip, and I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. And yes, and Lax says, yeah, well said. Thanks, Gilster. Okay. As far as space goes, I have the space for what I want, yes, but I have to conserve my space. And when I did the Eternia playset rant earlier this week, I attracted somebody, and I probably shouldn't even talk about him right now because I'm feeding him a little bit more, but I don't care. I've noticed that the community has started to become polarized, and they tend to think if someone is upset about the prices that Mattel Creations are doing on their stuff, or that they're upset that it's being released to Mattel Creations instead of to retail, that somehow they're disparaging the people who want to buy the products and are willing to go over there and buy them. Though those are two mutually exclusive things, okay? I don't want to buy the Eternia playset. It wasn't something that I ever wanted as a child. It came out far too late. In the day, I was already 16, going on 17 years old, and I had just joined the Army and was getting ready to head off to boot camp as soon as I graduated from high school. And I wasn't ever going to buy that. I didn't want that at that time. That wasn't something that I ever cared for. it doesn't fit in with the line also, in my opinion, because the original storyline is where I go back to. And if you want to see more information on those thoughts, keep up with the series of videos that I'm going to be doing with an in-depth analysis on those original storylines. So, first of all, I am a little upset that Mattel Creations is price gouging people on that Eternia playset by offering it for $550 plus a $50 shipping fee plus a $50 another $50 for the oversized box fee, whatever they're calling that. So that's $650 at that point, because another $100 tacked onto it, and that's not including the sales tax. And God forbid you live in a foreign country and you have to pay international shipping on that. You could get well over $1,000 in U.S. funds to pay for it at that point. So because I'm upset at the price on that, even though I don't plan on buying it for myself, I'm upset for those of you who want it, because now you have to pay that price. Am I going to be upset or pissed off because somebody's able to buy it? No. Am I upset because it's out of my price range? Yes, in a way, but it doesn't mean that I'm highly upset, because I wasn't even going to buy it in the first place. Okay. Do I have sour grapes because I think I can't afford it? No, not at all. Because if I really, really wanted it, I could get it. Okay. There are several different ways I could get it. I could save my money, which I've already done. I have a savings account in the bank with some money in it. Come on, folks. I'm a 52-year-old man. Of course, I have a good savings account with a good amount of money in it. I could dip into that and buy it. I could put it on my credit card and buy it. I could use PayPal to buy it and pay PayPal off in installments. That's an option. There are several different places online where you can do pretty much the same thing. You can buy something that costs a whole lot of money, and you can use that site to buy it and then pay it off in installments to that site. I could get the set if I wanted it. So would it piss me off because you bought it? No, it doesn't piss me off. It makes me happy that you got something that you wanted. So just keep that in mind. Going back to the chat, Grindhead Jim says, I can be mad at Mattel without being mad at the collectors who will purchase those products. That's absolutely right. I don't understand why people in the community seem to think that if you're mad about the price on something, it'd be like that. And it looks like Ticket's planning on Thanksgiving launch. Okay, good thing. And Nightbot's in there, so I don't want to look at him. All right, not interested in Eternia either. No room for it anyway. Just get the figures we never got. And yes, figures we never got, and also brand new figures. I would like to see brand new figures of characters that were never released in the line, that might have been on the cartoon show or whatever. I mean, I'd love to see that. And Largo says, all my toy collecting moolah is tied up in Battleburst and Resurrection toys. Yes, that's absolutely right. And speaking of Resurrection toys, there was a live stream on recently with Rolo and Grindhead Jim talking about things over there at Resurrection Toys. If you haven't watched that, I suggest you go over and watch it. It's a good watch to see what's going on at Resurrection Toys. And Nolan says, people who want it, happy they can get one. I wouldn't mind having one, but not for 1,000 Canadian dollars. So instead, I'll help support a company ran by people that I consider my friends. And we thank you very much for that support. I am the brand ambassador for Resurrection Toys. I cannot speak for Resurrection Toys, but I can thank you on their behalf. And let us move right along. There was something that I wanted to show that a very good friend of mine did for me, and it flabbergasted me when I found out about this. Let me tell the story. So I'm at work on Friday, and my wife, bless her heart, she didn't really pay attention to the name on the package. She just saw a sticker to her looked like Godzilla on the front. So she sends me a text message and she says, We just got a package with Grindhead Jim's Godzilla on it. And I said, really? I wasn't expecting that. Did it? And then I asked her if it said Resurrection Toys on the outside, and she said no. So I was confused. And so when I actually got home, I found a little box waiting for me. Let me see what I did with it. It was back here in the back. What did I do with that box? Why can't I keep up with my... here it is, right here. I found this little box right here waiting for me. And it had a sticker on it, and I recognized that sticker right away. That is Gojitron sticker. So I'm like, why did Gojitron send me something, and how did he even get my address in the first place? And I opened the box up, and the first thing I found in there was this little letter. And also in the letter was a Gojitron sticker. I appreciate that, Gojitron. All right, and so let me read the letter off to you. Here's the letter. All right, it says, "Hello, Bill. I purchased a couple of items from the benefit auction for Rolo that I think you would enjoy, so I'm passing them on to you with a couple of other bits. Hope you enjoy everything. Sincerely, Carl, aka Gojitron." And thank you. I appreciate that, Gojitron. It touches me that you sent something to me. And so I opened the package up, and this is what he sent me. He sent me the Garada K7 and Boss Borat that I had seen on that auction that I loved so much, and I was wanting someone to buy. And he knows that I'm a big Shogun Warriors fan and Poppy Jumbo Machinder fan, and he sent these to me. He bought these for himself, and then he decided to give them to me. Thank you, Gojitron. Thank you so much. That touches my heart that you would do that. But that wasn't all that was in the package. He sent me 2 packs of Muscle Warriors. The first pack is Shogun Warriors muscle figures. And the other one is Masters of the Universe muscle figures. So, thank you, Gojitron. Thank you so very, very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much, man. That was just so kind of you to do that for me. It just means a lot, and I just can't tell you how much that means to me that you thought so highly of me that you wanted to send me those items, and it kind of overwhelms me a little bit. So thank you. Let's head back over to the chat and let's see what's going on here. Up I go. Gilster37 says he's not interested in attorney. We saw that chat. Largo says that he's collecting Resurrection Toys. Nolan, people who want it are happy they can get it. Yeah, I saw that one. And Gojitron says, I'm struggling with whether or not to buy the Super 7 Shogun Mecha Godzilla for $395. That's quite a bit. I think that the original Shogun Warriors Godzilla was re-released in the last 5-10 years. And I can't remember who did that, but it looked just like the old Shogun Warriors Godzilla. That's the one I would want if I was after one. And Gilster37 says, mostly interested in Pighead. And Sleeping Collectibles has arrived. Hey, Sleeping Collectibles, good to see you in the chat, man. If you haven't subscribed to the show, please do hit the subscribe button and subscribe. That would I would appreciate that very, very much. And he says hello to Grindhead Jim. And Grindhead says hi back. And Nolan saying hi to Sleeping Collectibles. Hey, I know that guy, says Gojitron. Mecha Godzilla is an amazing Goji, but that price hurts a bit. Yeah, it's pretty much a lot. And Jim's showing me some love there. So this community is amazing. Ticket says it's awesome. Yeah, man, it really is. That's awesome of you, Goji. It really was, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, everybody telling me, and damn, Gojitron is so good at this ninja toy giving shit. Old grindhead Jim in the house. Let me pop him on. Let me pop grindhead Jim in here. Hey, Jim, man. Good to see you. Glad you hopped on the show, man.
Me too. I was not going to, but then after I saw you do the opening of the box from Gojitron, I've been telling my patrons for the last couple days that I really didn't know how I was going to do the unboxing of the box you sent me. I haven't undone it yet. And it dawns on me that if there's anyone who deserves to see me open this box, it's you. So, with your permission, I'll happily open it for you live on your show.
Great, man. I appreciate that, Jim. Go for it.
All right.
And by the way, folks, I'm interested to see his reactions on these as well.
You sure do know how to tape a damn box, Bill. I'll give you that. And I know I'm not supposed to cut towards myself now. I know that.
I'll be careful with that knife, Jim. But yeah, I made sure that everything in that box was as safe as I possibly could make it.
Yeah, I was telling the boys that part of the reason that I haven't opened this is because I'm like, where the hell am I going to put it once I open it? You know?
Well, the box is bigger than the contents. Let's just put it that way, so the cardboard can go away.
Yeah. There we go. Almost there, kids.
Hold on. Michael Purvis is in the house. Maniac Plastic Toys. Hey, man. Didn't see you when you popped in. Good to see you. And go, put that thing away once you're done. You may need it again, though, so keep it handy. And Gojitron tells me you're very welcome. I appreciate Gojitron doing that for me. It just touches me, man. It really does. And Toynami did a new version of the Shogun Godzilla a few years back. It was $240. Well, Unit 5 did Great Mazinger, and it also included the jetpack on his back. And that thing costed so much darn money. But I bought one. By God, I wanted it. Now, like I said, I buy what I want. I can do that.
God damn it. Come on. Taking the tape with it. God damn it. So this is the Batcopter in here, which I accidentally just opened.
It says safety first.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything in here, or is it just this is just a bag of padding, yes?
Yes. There's a lot of padding in there. What you want is going to be in the two boxes that were inside the big box. Yes.
Well, this one is... This is already open. Probably from the bottom. Nope. It is not. I know what this is. Chat probably knows what this is. I think I even said it. Oh.
Be careful. The blades are separate. I put the blades
right
separate.
Here.
Yeah.
They're right there. But damn it, box, you stay right there. This is a Dark Knight Collection Batcopter repainted to look like the Superpowers one. And dare I say, with this sparkle paint, this looks infinitely better than the molded plastic version. This is intense. This is
the only problem I had with it was at the very, very bottom where the little thing that you turn to make the blades go. Yeah. There's some red plastic in there that's got a sticky feel to it on the inside where the villain capture feature is. Don't capture your villains with that.
Or I could just take a dowel, douse it in some alcohol, and just penetrate it a few times. with
Yeah,
consent, of course.
oh, but sure. I mean, it's your toy. I mean, you do as you please with it now that it's yours. But yes,
That was a sex joke, Bill.
it completely went over my head because I'm a naive old
Yeah,
country boy.
but this looks great. Thank you, man. And you painted this?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
Uh, when I was on the quest for a superpowers Batcopter, uh, someone in one of the superpowers Facebook groups offered that to me at a pretty decent price, and I accepted. Later on, I actually purchased an actual dark superpowers collection Batcopter in box, and paid a little bit more than I should, but not too terribly bad considering what they actually go for, and it was in box. So I've had two Batcopters for all this time, and you know my wife quite well. Two of anything she doesn't understand, and I had I knew you wanted one, and you had that Dark Knight Batcopter that it was going to be your Batcopter for your superpowers, like it was. And I knew I had one that probably looked infinitely better because it had been repainted by someone and they did an excellent job. And I didn't need it anymore, so it's now yours, and I'm
And
happy to do that. And of course, the canopy on that when I bought it was broken, and I replaced that canopy with one from the actual Dark Knight collection that I found online just by itself.
hmm and I know I
So
can get a repro
yeah,
through
you can get a repro orange one and make it look just like you want it to,
yep.
and
The
that
only
and
thing
that's
that I'm missing here, which button does the thing?
it's there
I
on the
got it.
side on the front. You
On the
found it?
bottom, it was just stuck because of the paint. So you
Yeah,
just
it works. It works. I tested it. Yeah, it works.
you
It
just
works. Yep.
now interesting thing, and this is one of those weird, toy history kind of deals, is that even though these were molded in black and re-released in 89, 90, 91, so forth,
It
the
was for the Dark
stamp on
Knight
the
collection.
bottom still says 86.
That's because it's the same damn mold. They
It's
never
exactly
changed
the
the
same
mold.
mold, and they didn't change a damn thing, which I'm
Yeah.
not mad about. And then when I put the
So
canopy on there, you know, I'm
Kenner did
waiting.
that. Kenner did that a lot when they would reuse a mold tooling
Oh
for a
yeah,
mold. They wouldn't change the copyright date or anything like that on it. So those old Wayne Manor Batman Command Centers, they all have the same
yep.
copyright date on them.
Plus, those of you that collect Star Wars, if you get a Robin Hood Prince of Thieves Sherwood Forest, you can use that for your Endor, which is arguably looks better, and you would
And
still
it
have it
was the
83,
indoor play
84.
set. It was
Hmm?
the indoor play set.
Yep. And
All right, now
it
there's
has that.
instructions on that.
Now this box says, pry up one end of the tape and rip it off. Do not cut this because paper goods. Okay. All right. And you use good tape for that purpose too. Very thoughtful packaging, I must say. Oh, nope. You stay down there. You stay there. Yes, you do. All right, I'm going to leave you like that because I might just put you right back in there. So this is the impetus behind you sending this in the first place. And this is also what took the longest because you were scared to death about sending this and it being intact.
And I only included the one screen on there, but if you want to do the other screens, you can go over to my blog on the page where I showed this off, and you can download the PDF file.
This is just beautiful. This is great.
And what's nice about that is I set that flap at the top so that you can open and close it, and you can use it to store stuff in, like file cards or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mini comics and file cards are what I put in mine.
I love that you have the little bubble inside of there, and it's just such a perfect size. I probably will just leave it like this because this is all I really need from it. This is perfect. I just You know,
And
um,
I actually used a screen grab to make the trouble alert symbol that's at the very bottom underneath there, not the
mhm.
screen itself, but where it says trouble alert. I used a screen grab from the cartoon for that, and I took a screen grab from the cartoon and blew it up, and then I drew everything that's on the control panel to match what it looked like on that.
Just a little bit of effort, is what you're saying.
Slight, but
A
you
little
know
bit.
how I work with GIMP. Me and GIMP are friends, and
Yes.
that's the GNU image manipulation program for those of you whose minds are in the gutters.
Yeah, not someone, an ancillary character in Pulp Fiction or
Or
a
character created,
derogatory term for
or a
someone of
character that's been
limited.
released in the Superpowers line by Toddy Mac.
Yeah, speaking of Toddy Mac, um, what did you think of that news that the Invisible Jet's coming out?
I was excited to see that. As a matter of fact, I was at work the day that you sent me that,
I
and
figured.
I I just glanced at it, and when I answered you with, "Oh wow," I thought that you were showing me 3D pictures, rendered pictures of what a certain toy company that you're the CEO of might have been releasing. And later on, I realized, no, wait a minute, this is what's going to be released for Todd McFarlane Superpowers re-release stuff. So then I looked back at it, and I kind of felt silly there for a moment. But what did I? How do I feel about that? Well, the Batmobile looks great, but I can't understand why another Batmobile. But it's a two-seater, which we don't get very often unless it's the '66
Right.
Batmobile or the only other Batmobile that was ever released as a two-seater would be the Superpowers version, the first original vintage.
Yeah,
So
and I think if we were to, if there's why another Batmobile, you have to take it in the context of someone who maybe
yeah,
loved Superpowers collection as a kid, never had them.
or the fact that he's hoping that kids will buy this stuff.
Exactly. So you're getting possible kids to play with the toys, and these have a lot of play value. There's a lot of value for what you pay for with these. Even if we have our gripes with the capes and everything, most children aren't going to care when you look at it from that perspective. Um, but an invisible jet for $20, Batmobile two-seater for $30, it's a hell of a value in today's market. And I give them a
Not bad
lot
at
of
all.
credit for that. I really do.
Yeah,
Now, if they don't scale
now
right and the figures don't fit inside, that's a different conversation we'll have to have. But so
I
far, when
think
it comes to the
the figures will
canopies,
fit. As a matter of fact, I think what I would care about more than anything else is not whether just the Todd McFarlane figures fit in it, which I'm sure they will, but the Superpowers figures themselves, vintage, and I'm sure they're going to fit in there because they're just
so far,
slightly smaller. They scale well, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are griping that they're a little tiny bit out of scale with the original figures, but they're not so much out of scale. I mean, it's so
mhm.
minute that it's almost impossible to tell.
Yeah,
Now,
and for example, they're also giving us some other figures, and one of them is like Deathstroke, which is a great character.
oh yeah,
And I think, and we need more villains in the superpowers line, and so he is definitely one of those ones where I said, okay, that's never been in superpowers. I want him in my superpowers collection. I'll take him out of the package. But anything that are doubles,
and look. Here's the thing, folks. It matches the way the superpowers looked at the time, in my opinion. So it
right?
just fits in very well with vintage.
Overall, I'd say, yeah. And it's to me, it's interesting that you and I both complained a lot that they weren't talking about it. It was all rumors, and then suddenly they just showed up and they still weren't talking about it. Then it
Well,
became
for a while there,
official.
we thought we were being trolled.
Yeah, I was like, "Is this real?" It's kind of like a trauma response or something. And
Well, we've been
but
trolled
now
so
they're
much
out,
that
and then every chance he gets, he's showing off more stuff. And yeah, there are some characters I'm like, I don't care, but I'd say a good 80% of what he's putting out is really good. And it's equally good for vintage, modern, and children, and that's a rarity.
Oh, Will has showed up. Hey, Will, how's it going, man?
Great job on Ken's show, dude. Great job over on Ken's show.
I hate I missed it, but that's the best thing about replay. You can sit there and you can skip around it and get to the parts that you want. But I'm going to watch that on replay when I get a chance. Absolutely.
Yeah, and with Ken's format too, like it lends itself more like a talk show where you're watching it after the fact. It's not as participatory, so it works out really well. And yes, Jim Largo's comment about the Flash, I definitely agree that the new version of the Flash is a great take on the character. Arguably the best Flash figure in that scale that's ever been released. Arguably.
I kind of agree with you on that one, and I always like the slight redesign of the costume that they did. For me, in my collection, this is going to be the Wally West version of Flash.
It reminds me of Wally West, but it also has a little bit of John Wesley Shipp, the TV show Flash, in it, which is a good thing because as a kid, again, you got to figure being heavy into the Batman film after already having had a large superpowers collection. And then the Flash TV show comes out clearly trying to capitalize on the Batman vibe.
Of course.
But they didn't do any figures
Let me address this real quick. Will, I absolutely know why you weren't here at the beginning, and there's no problems there, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, now you're talking about the John Wesley Shipp Flash costume. Like you said, 89 Batman had came out, and for a long time, the way that costume was designed became what people thought of as a superhero costume. So the John Wesley Shipp costume was made to emulate that with the sculpted abs and all that stuff in it. So I have no problem with that either. I mean, it just looks like it's supposed to look for that era.
Well, and not to mention the fact that John Wesley Shipp was a ripped and cut dude. So it may, and in the show, the lore was that it formed to his body. And if you look at his body, like that was what he looked like. So in his particular case, he wasn't cheating. He just happened to have a suit that had some really great airbrushing on it. It didn't look hokey. It toned down some of the colors. The blood red of it was like, and they made him do you
remember what the in-universe explanation for that costume was, Jim?
I don't.
Okay. That was a Star Labs costume that was supplied to him by Tina, and it was so that he could run real fast without burning his clothes off.
Oh, in the show, it was what it was. I thought there was a different comic explanation.
Oh no, it was. I was talking about the end show. As far as the comic goes,
yeah, because the idea was he wore
Wally's costume, but he ended up making small redesigns to it for himself. That was just, But as far as
ultimately, like in the TV show, like there was this running gag where if he ran without the suit on, the velocity would just tear the seams and just claw his clothes.
The air friction would set his clothes on fire.
Yeah, what that
his
original
shoes would burn off of his feet. His shoes would burn off of his feet because he would be running so fast that the friction would.
Yeah, there was the one where he was trying to clean up his apartment and he ran so fast and he gets to the door and his feet are smoking. He's like, "Oh!" There's like fire going off. And so the original suit that she provided from Star Labs, it was supposed to be like a deep sea diving suit, which explains it was a really cute, very logical way to say why would he wear a red suit? Well, we have this suit and it happens to be red, and then all the other gaudy parts he wanted gloves so he wouldn't leave fingerprints, he wanted a hood so no one could know who he was, and then he drew the symbol himself, and it was very cool, like on graph paper, like high schooler. I was like, oh, this all makes sense. You don't have to go with these crazy explanations, and then we get this amazing suit design. Plus, you have the fact that it's bridging the gap with the set design from Batman '89. They're still doing that old but postmodern kind of Art Deco crossover, which of course lived on in the Batman animated series. And just the fact they put so much work into it being very similar. Like there's Gotham, here's Central City. There's very similar but very different. Had its own thing going. Very underrated show. The DVD is criminally underrated. Very easy and inexpensive to get a hold of. Get it. It is worth it. It was all filmed on film and it upscales great.
I got that DVD, by the way,
Me
Jim,
too.
and I had it since it was first released.
Yep.
And Largo says the Mattel finally gave us a John Wesley ship Flash, but it's expensive on the secondary market.
Of course,
I wish I had that, because I don't know if you know this or not, but I have my Super Friends over here that consists of Linda Carter Wonder Woman, Adam West Batman, and Christopher Reeve Superman, and he would fit right in with that. So if I ever get a chance to buy that at a decent price, I probably will pick that up. And
awesome.
Wilhelm Toy and Hobby says they showed us he uses super speed in the sack too, something I never saw in a superhero show before.
I mean, if you want to liquefy somebody's pelvis, that's a great idea, but maybe not.
And Mark Hamill as the trickster gave us the pseudo Joker, because he pretty much played the Joker as the trickster. He used the same character voice and mannerisms when he played the Joker on Batman animated series. And now going back to that Todd McFarlane Superpowers Batmobile, and I'm sure he's going to do this. He pretty much guaranteed he's going to have to do this. That thing doesn't need to be black. It needs to be blue, Superpowers blue, and the windshield needs to be Superpowers orange.
Yeah, it really does. And the invisible jet, I'm worried. I don't know if it's going to be like a completely clear, or if it's going to go with like a cloudy clear.
Yeah, the superhero girls toy line, I don't know if it's still on the shelves or not. It didn't last long, I don't think. I haven't seen it recently. Released a invisible jet for it that was in this kind of a blue translucent plastic that was kind of cloudy colored. Please don't do that. It needs to be transparent plastic, like that little small jet that I've shown on the show. The other thing that kind of concerns me is how fat the body of that thing looks, and let me share that with everybody so they can.
I think it's going to be stumpy like the Batwing is.
Yeah, so, I'm afraid so, and that's okay, I guess. And I bet you dollars to donuts if you press that little Wonder Woman symbol that you see on the front, that canopy's going to pop open. Hopefully, it's going to be made like the Supermobile and not like the Batwing.
Well, I think that's a foregone conclusion given what's happened. Also, and I didn't see this upon first viewing, but if you look at this Batmobile, the windscreen in the front, if they do this all in the blue, and then this bat in the like the head here is like black with the yellow eyes, so you get this orange here with gray. In other words, if you take a lot of tips from the old one, updated, because I love this design. I'm not a huge fan of the open air, but you know what? That's not a horrible thing. More Batmobiles than not have been open air, and it does have that nod to the Superpowers one. It's a good mix, I think. And again, at the price point of $30, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get it. And again, even with the invisible jet, if it's a little bit stubby, you know what? We're not going to get a Learjet. I understand.
This is something that I never thought would get released anyway. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and say this now. I'm sure a lot of guys in the chat are well aware of this. If Todd McFarlane hadn't have done this, Resurrection Toys would have made a wondrous transparent airplane.
We had a plan to do it, but it was only if Toddy did not reveal it in the next 2 quarters.
Yeah, we can't call it Wonder Woman. We couldn't have called it Wonder Woman's Invisible Jet, but it could have been a wonderful transparent airplane.
Yeah, I don't know the word jet in Spanish, but it would be like, the English translation in terms of order would be the jet invisible, kind of a thing, or transparent aircraft or something like that.
Well, on the old, I'm talking about the original, absolutely first season of Super Friends. That Ted Knight was the narrator.
Yes,
he would call it Wonder Woman's transparent jet or something like that. he called it the transparent jet in that.
I like the second guy better though. Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice, you know.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, and it was just it was kind of the precursor to. I always joked that the guys in Seattle who were doing like grunge in the early '90s, they all watched a lot of Super Friends, and that's where they got their voice from.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm depressed. Meanwhile, I'm telling you,
I kind of like you're talking about grunge. I kind of like what Weird Al Yankovic said. It's hard to gargle,
marbles in my mouth. Yeah. And that was the thing. Like that was the first time that Weird Al had touched on something that I was a really big fan of. So I didn't know how I was going to react, but I thought it was hilarious. And I was always a little mad he never did a death metal song.
And Bjorn says it's the first time he sees this. Okay.
I
figured it'd been passed around so much. I mean, the guys over at Geek Dad Life covered this, and several other channels have covered this, and I didn't even bother with it. So
I didn't put a video out on it, and I know I talked about it I want to say I talked about it briefly on the show. I might have forgotten to do it. So there you go, exclusive. Jet Invisible de la Mujer Maravilla. Okay, I mean that's a bit too much to roll off the tongue, but I
actually,
like it.
the second part of that is actually Spanish for Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
That's what she's called down there. That's for not for you, Jim. That's for people who may not know who are watching the show. Pretty awesome if they do it in translucent plastic. It needs to be absolutely clear plastic.
Yeah, and the only thing that I would take outside of that is if it's slightly tinted, like tinted glass, like a slight tint, so like it's darker inside. That I think it would make sense in lore. Two, would make it easier to see without losing the transparentness, and it would be a good alternative to like the cloudy. I don't think they're going to do the cloudy, but I can see them doing a tint to it.
Now this is what I would like to see them do, just personally. On the inside of the jet, there's the aircraft control stick or wheel or whatever you call it. Sure. And you can see if you look at the comics and you watch the Super Friends cartoon, you can see her chair in there, and you can see some controls underneath that chair, and maybe even some parts of that stick and everything in there. If they do those in a clear blue, it's clear but kind of color it a little bit blue, but leave the outside of the jet absolutely clear, just clear. That would look great because then you could see the little stuff inside.
That would be cool.
I don't know if they would do anything like that. That's just that's probably getting too detailed, but
little too wish. But the thing is, if you look at all the other vehicles, there's a lot of interesting details that they do, and they do mold the different pieces in different colors. Gilster's asking for a Hall of Justice playset. That would be cool.
They've already done Hall of Justice. What they need to do is a Hall of Doom.
That's what I was going to say. That we need like the Legion of Doom thing, and that's not a hard playset to do. It's just an oval. You take the top off, and there's a board room table in it. That's all it has to be.
Well, not necessarily, Jim Largo. I believe if Todd McFarlane releases a Robin figure, it will be Damian Wayne.
Yeah, I can see that, and I would be okay with that because it would be cool to have that version of Robin in that scale, and with a little bit of paint, you could push him off as Tim Drake for sure. Yeah, that would be a chore to keep it clean. It's true.
Well,
lots of Windex. She goes through lots and lots of Windex.
Lots of fingerprints on it. If you're a little kid, it's going to get dirty because you're going to play with it. But we're adults. We're going to put the thing on display and look at it.
Well, that's why when what they should do, since it is probably going to be still only in Walmart, and hopefully that gets lifted. I would venture to guess that after the first year, he gets to sell it everywhere. And whether or not that's the case, Walmart should be smart and do a bundle with the Invisible Jet of some like screen wipes or like glass cleaner or something, so that the parents can keep it clean.
Well, I just hope that Walmart puts the darn things out and puts them on display for people to buy, and doesn't do as they've done with the rest of this stuff and just kind of not really give a damn about when it goes out and where it gets put. I mean, right now, if I go to my Walmart, there may or may not be a Supermobile or a Batwing on display, and it may not even be in the spot it's supposed to be in. So,
Right.
and those end caps that we were supposed to see in all the Walmarts, I have yet to see one.
Yeah, as one of the reasons I haven't gone to my Walmart is because I'd be really disappointed if I didn't get to see that. Because I would need to go. The thing is, like, if I'm going to go to a Walmart to see that end cap, I need someone to go with me, and I need to get several pictures taken with it, like it's the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, man.
Speaking of which, has anyone bought one of those for or got their hands on one of those for you, Jim?
Salzburg's working on the store nearest to him, last I heard. But I
I
don't.
have a feeling. I have a feeling that a great many of these WalMarts are going to just take the end cap and throw it in the garbage and take all the figures and vehicles off of it and put them on the shelf.
Exactly. And it's something that, like, it just like it screams a little bit of modification, and that's your display, basically, for superpowers.
And Largo's talking about Todd doesn't like girly figures and hopes they get a Black Canary. I do too, but I think that's wishful thinking. I
Right.
know that with the Wave 3 is fixing to come out. I don't know when, but it does have a Wonder Woman, and we have seen in this particular presentation that was put out, they showed that Wonder Woman, and they did paint her little panties with stars on it finally, and it's the Rebirth costume, but that's the closest we're going to get to a classic looking Wonder Woman from Todd McFarlane.
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll through to find the. There was other pictures as well, and
Now
I think I saw a Catwoman there.
we've seen a picture of Reverse Flash, and I'm
Yes.
hoping that he releases that. I don't know what it wasn't shown in the Wave 3 pictures that was shown at the comic convention there with New York Comic Con. So
Right.
hopefully that we'll see that Reverse Flash in a future release as well, because that's a much needed villain that was never released in the original series.
I agree. See if I can. I'm right in the thing. I saw Page Punchers. Page Punchers. There's the
I've seen those
vehicles.
page punchers. Those are the most awful things I've ever seen in my life. They're about this big, people. I
Yeah, they
should.
have the tiny ones, and then they have the 7-inch ones. The 7-inch ones have some great figures that are coming out, but it's like, are they going to scale? And not really. And
That
it
would be
doesn't make
nice
a
if
ton
we
of
got a
sense.
Catwoman figure, but I would imagine that if they did release a Catwoman figure, she would be in a black costume, cat suit kind of costume, like with the goggles and all that, like she was in the comic. The
Right.
Catwoman I want would be like the figure that I have. That's a custom figure that looks like the old Silver Age / Bronze Age Catwoman. Yes, that's the picture right there. And as you can see, Nightwing is sporting a booty that's sticking out on the back. I think that's done on purpose. We have Wonder Woman there, and she's got a shitty cape that you're going to have to get a replacement for from the Cape Master.
Or just throw it
And
away.
just throw it away because she did wear a cape, but only for special occasions. And then there beside it, we see Deathstroke, the Terminator. And
Hmm.
the Terminator doesn't have his machine gun because for some reason we can't release guns with superheroes anymore.
As we used to say in the Marines, Mothers of America got us again.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that you can get your hands on a G.I. Joe M60 machine gun and stick that thing in his hands and it would fit right in.
Yup. That would not be
And
difficult
Todd
to practice.
McFarlane is not above releasing accessory packs. And it doesn't even have to be an accessory pack that's labeled as a Superpowers accessory pack, but it will be an accessory pack with all kinds of cool little goodies for these figures. And it probably will include guns that will go with the Terminator.
Some batarangs.
Batarangs, yeah.
But I gotta say, this Wonder Woman sculpt is really good. I'm actually really impressed with it.
Yeah, Hawk Girl would be a nice nod to the Justice League Unlimited cartoon.
Yes.
Now, if you want a good Hawk Woman figure, then you'd have to paint her yourself. But there's a fellow over there on Etsy who does 3D printing of these action
Yeah, but he
figures.
does the magnets too, and
Yeah,
Margot really hates the magnets.
yeah, he does the
So
magnets. But
that's something
that's
else
kind
we're
of
looking at. We know we can do that kind of stuff. We're
surprise, no lasso. Well, once again,
She's got the
let me
hands
take
for it, so it just might not be pictured.
it could be, but I can tell you right now that the Cape Master releases a lasso.
Yeah, I
And
have two of them.
yeah, and it's actually a better lasso than the piece of crap that was released with the superpowers Wonder Woman in the
Yeah,
first place.
it looks and feels the same, but it is better. It is a really robust, and usually if you get there's certain combo packs. If you go through his eBay store, he'll just throw the lasso in for free.
Exactly. If you buy a vintage Robin cape, the
Mhm.
vintage style Robin cape, it includes a Wonder Woman lasso. So
He
I
has a
got the
couple.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
I got the Wonder Woman
he
lasso with my
also
cape.
he also bundles it with a couple other capes from time to time, because he knows it's kind of a throw in kind of thing.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, if you contact him directly through his Facebook page or his Instagram and purchase this stuff, and not just through his eBay store, he will work with you. Okay,
Yep.
and you can get everything combined into one shipping price, so that you don't have to pay separate shipping on each item. And of course, if you buy it from eBay, he'll go ahead and refund you all that shipping and get it
Yep.
down to one shipping price. But it's easier for him if you do it like contacting him saying, like, I want this, 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 and this. What can you
And then
do
he'll
for
just
me?
give you a flat fee. You give it PayPal it directly to him, and in it comes. And I can
Mhm.
tell you, after having done probably 6 or 7 different transactions with him, I trust him. So, if you're watching this show and you're on the fence about doing it that way, because I can understand that, um, he's totally cool with it, and you can even do it through paying goods and services, if you want to. And I ordered a custom cape from him week ago, week before last. I forget when it was. All the days run together. Give me a really good deal on a fully custom Doctor Strange cape, which I cannot wait
Did you get it with
for.
the wires in it so you can make it do all that cool stuff?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I asked him for a wire specifically down the center so it would not just flare out, but I could flare it in the back. So he could be
Mhm.
like floating, doing the whole thing, doing his like crane kick thing he does.
Yeah.
Uh yeah, so that's
Well,
that's
see,
kind of the
well,
idea.
that brings up a point that I would like to make, Jim, for those of you who may not be aware of this. He does make these wired capes, but he doesn't sell them on his eBay store. You
Right.
have to contact him and say, I want this or that or the other wired cape. And he has a website. He doesn't sell those on that website either. So if
You
you
got to
want a
contact him
specially custom
directly to do
designed
that.
cape, he's willing to work with you, and his prices are very, very reasonable. I mean, he
Oh yeah.
doesn't really charge that much more for a specially designed cape than he would for a regular cape anyway. So whatever you can think of, he can pretty much come up with something on it. As a matter of
Yeah,
fact,
and
I'm planning on getting a King Randor cape for my Origins King Randor, so that he's got a cloth cape instead of that
yeah,
piece
I
of
get it.
plastic they gave him.
And what
Same
I'm
thing
hoping
for
he'll do, and I
Scareglow.
was going to do the same thing, what I'm hoping he'll do is take that Wonder Woman lasso stuff and wrap it around like a real rope a few times to make that thread. Would be really
Mhm.
cool. And yeah, I will absolutely do a video on that when I get it, because he needs more exposure outside of the superpower stuff, because people see it, they say that's neat. What else does he do? And for a 6-inch figure, and it's a lot of material, I told him get big, make it gaudy, and put the wires in. He's doing it by hand from scratch. He doesn't have a pattern because this is something he hasn't done before. In terms of what I want, I said, he showed me something similar. I said, start with that as your base, but I need the collar bigger, and I need these frills, and I need this trim. I asked for some very specific stuff,
Mhm.
and he ended up, I think it was less than $30 including shipping, which for what that is when you're asking for something he's never made before, fully custom, that is a steal. That is a
Yeah,
steal.
and listen, folks, when we're dealing with people that are doing customs work, they're doing these things by hand, one at a
Yep.
time. Most of them that they don't have a staff; they're the staff themselves. The staff consists of one person working their ass off. So you're not only just paying for the item, but you're also paying for their time and effort. So
Exactly.
that's why custom stuff costs so much, and it's not unreasonable to ask the prices that the people that I tout on my show are asking. And everybody that I show on my show that's doing custom stuff, I've bought from and I trust. I wouldn't give you these people's names and tout them otherwise.
Yeah, and people have asked us why we upcharge for custom paint. Not out of like I don't want to, like why are you charging that much more? Well,
Because
a couple
a person
things.
has to do that.
I got one guy who does my sculpting and the custom paint, and then we're working on other toy lines. So every moment he spends painting is away from the sculpting, so we have to compensate for that. Um, because then he's going to work later on the sculpt. Like we got at the last second, like right before we started the stream, he sent these pictures and I didn't see it, of the latest sculpt of the Kraken, which didn't go out in the live stream. Put it out on social media this morning, and it's um, it's a good iteration on what we showed yesterday. It kind of flares out his ears. I don't know if you want me to show it, but I can.
Sure. I've been more than happy. I'm the brand ambassador, damn it. You know that you know damn well anything that you want to show on my show. As a matter of fact, uh, here we go. Right here it is. Put it right on back in there. Look at
So
that,
we
folks.
he molded in the ears a little bit, and formed the neck a little more. So it's definitely got more of the ears coming out. They're much more. They're like gill slash ear kind of a vibe. He moved the top eyes down a little bit, and he kind of tapered out the neck a little bit. You can see where he put some more sinews in it. We're definitely getting there. And for those that don't know, yes, the jaw's articulated. Um, he's a robust boy. He's a
I
robust
like
boy.
that. That is absolutely just stunning there, Jim. I'm glad that you were able to let us see these prototype pictures here on the show. And what I was going to say was, I'm kind of working on a little promotion for you guys.
Oh,
I haven't started it yet, but I am. I'm going to make a commercial, and I'm going to show it on my show, Jeremy Hambley style. Shout out to today's sponsor, and then kind of go into Resurrection Toys. I'm gonna cut to that video. Resurrection Toys, blah 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 blah, and I'm gonna show the figures off and everything with what I can do here at the house. And shout out to Gojitron again, the guy who sent me all these wonderful toys that are over here on the toy cam. Uh, Gojitron has got these figures from Resurrection Toys, and he's going to be making a video on his show of them. And I suggest that everybody rush over there and subscribe to him if you haven't already. Get your notifications going so that you can see that video when it comes out. And if you don't mind, Goji, when I get ready to make my promotional video, I may rob some of your footage there.
yeah, and Goji, a year ago wasn't even thinking about doing YouTube, and now he's one of the best guys in the biz.
Yeah.
Always really informative, always very fair, and it comes from a place that he just loves toys and everything from the late '60s all the way up to now. And his having that kind of knowledge base and that kind of love of almost every kind of toy, and certainly of kaiju, and wanting to know the history of things, it comes across in everything he does. And I can't thank him enough for giving that same treatment to something that we're doing, which, although certainly is modern, has a rich history all its own. And he was very good at portraying that and being completely forthright and honest about any potential bias. But he was very honest about them, and we were blown away by the professionalism of it all, and we are very happy to have been featured there. Thank you.
Great. I'm glad to hear that, Jim. That just makes me feel good, and I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. I can't wait to see these figures firsthand. I know someday I'll get surprised. There'll be a little package there waiting at the post office, and or here at the house. I'll put this out there. I don't care if everybody hears me say this. I have a post office box for a reason. We don't get postal mail delivered at our homes in my small town. Everybody in town has a post office box. You have no choice. However, UPS and FedEx does leave stuff on the doorstep, and I prefer not to do that because we have porch piracy issues in my area,
Right.
and anything that's left on the doorstep may or may not be there when you get home from work.
And I will say that because of the way that we ship, we have to use FedEx as an in-country partner. We cannot ship to
Now
PO
FedEx
boxes.
does do a sure post just like UPS does, so I don't know if that's possible or not. You might want to look into that.
What I will say that if I was sending direct from FedEx, I could do that. But because we're using the Sky DropX to get it out of Mexico, they don't have the means to like then attack on that service. We've looked into it. We cannot ship to PO boxes, unfortunately.
Okay.
And we've been beating them over the head with it. So I'm not
And
happy about it.
that also means that APOs can't be used either. So the armed
Right.
forces are going to get screwed on that as well.
Right.
And that's something that we just have to deal with. It's not a big issue, but I mean we're dealing with shipping from Mexico, people, and international shipping is a freaking nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, when we get a wave of orders together in the batches that we do, it takes us, and this isn't not the packing. The packing of the boxes by themselves takes like a day or so, even with a couple people doing it. And then you have to label everything and register it and double check it and make sure the customs forms are right. And that takes an entire day in and of itself, which Rollo currently does. But we have someone in town there that is willing to take on those very shortly for him. And we trust her because she does a lot of shipping out of her own shop. She's the person that does all of our business cards and the banners and the stickers and stuff. So we have asked. She was so enthusiastic about getting in on this kind of stuff. I said, well, if you want to moonlight for us and do this in addition, that would be fine, as long as because she's proven she can meet a deadline. She's proven she's good at what she does, and we're at a point where we can afford to pay her a couple bucks to do it. So,
that brings me to a point that I want to make to the viewers. Please go and support this venture that Jim is on with Resurrection Toys. Buy you some unique toys and support this company, because all of the orders that you do are going to support the people who are working to get this stuff made, so that everybody gets a decent salary down there that's working for Jim. And those people need to be paid. That'd be Marcos and this lady and whoever else that Jim has working for him. And if nobody's buying the toys and the toys are getting made, then money's going to be lost, and we don't want that to happen.
Exactly. It's something where the first wave we took some pretty big losses, but the company itself didn't take any overall loss. It just meant that salaries got slashed, and I wasn't happy about it.
That was because mistakes were made on calculating shipping costs, and that's understandable at this point. The company's got growing pains. Some things you don't find out about until it's too late, and
Right.
and we have to understand that. And there's been some issues that have gone on, but if you have issues, contact Jim, contact the company. There is a email, I think, that's on the website that you need to use. Okay.
Yeah, we have a full contact form. You go to the website and just says contact us. You click that, you fill it out. And the reason I do it this way is so that everything comes in a format that I can search inside of the inbox. It's easier for me to read. I can mark things that are done versus not done. I know that it feels a bit formal, but it's still going to me. I don't have anyone else that monitors these boxes. I do all the social media. I do all the email and everything. Even if I make it sound like it's not just me, it's me.
Well, you know what I hope is I hope that the company becomes a smash success to the point to where you can actually hire somebody to help you do this, because people, this is not Jim's number one job. Jim has a day job and he has to do that all day long in addition to all of this.
It's true. And technically, at my day job, I'm filling 2 roles right now. I just got a promotion this week, and I'm integrating into that department while I'm finishing off clients from this other thing. So for now, it's stressful. The good thing about the new role at my job is that I have that much more autonomy over my schedule, and I don't have to worry about clients' schedules at all. So if I need to do something, I can pivot. So that'll be good. But I still have a day job, and as much as I'd like to play up the fact that I'm technically doing less work for more money, I'm not really. It's just I don't have to talk to anybody if I don't want to. So
Yeah.
It's a great blessing. I'm very happy about it. Um, and so is Resurrection Toys. It too is a blessing. I'm very happy about it. I get to spend more time with Rolo. I get to spend time with Marcos. We get to be creative. It is fun. We love seeing the smiles on people's faces. I enjoy the learning process, even when it costs us money. And I have a lot of every day. There's new ideas and there's stuff we want to do. Um, and Rolo keeps reminding me there's not really any limits to what we can do for the most part in terms of concept. There's always something else we can do. But I am constantly aware that I got one guy to do molds. So um, my dream is to get it to where we can consistently pay Marcos what he's worth, and then we can start looking for an apprentice so that we have another sculptor.
Yeah, that would be great. And maybe someday I'll get to see a man-at-arms battle chariot for my man-at-arms to ride in.
Never say never. We have something bigger in mind first. Much bigger.
And Jim's being coy for a reason, and but he will show this stuff off when the time is right.
Like when we have something to show, I'm going to be blunt. Right now, it's a glimmer in my eye.
Yeah, he's it. Grindhead's doing all this work himself for the most part on his end, and I'm not talking about sculpting and all that. That's being done by one guy, Marcos, and but Jim, you've taken on so much responsibility for this. Can you give us an idea of what your day is like from the time you wake up and go through the routines that we go through in the morning till the time you get ready to hit that sack?
Of course. So the first thing to point out is that I do all of this from home, and it's all done through the internet. So as such, my computer is set up for remote work for my day job as well as Resurrection Toys and YouTube and everything else. And I have 3 monitors in front of me with one above, and I use all 4 of them for work, for YouTube and personal stuff, and for Resurrection Toys. And in Windows, you have virtual desktops. So I have separate workspaces set up for each thing. So in the morning, I turn on the computer, get everything ready to go, have browsers up on all different desktops. First thing I do is I scan all of the website information for malware, stuff like that. It takes about 10 minutes because I need to make sure that when you're going to the site, it's going to be safe. It's really important. While I'm doing that, I check the emails that I've gotten overnight for any customer concerns, weed out the spam, because sometimes people just throw gibberish in those emails, I'll be honest. Check all the socials, make sure we've replied to everything. If there's anything we need to put out, I create those posts for the day and I schedule them throughout the day. And then double check orders, double check where we are in terms of, have I accounted for these orders on the current wave? And then we get to a certain number of orders, I have to cut off the wave and inform everybody. Then I messaged everybody, say, here's where we're at, here's what we're doing, make sure we're okay. Check in with Marcos, who usually has messaged something overnight because he works at night. And that's while my coffee's brewing. Then I check in with my day job, do the same types of things for the day job. Then I go over to my personal desktop, do the same thing for my YouTube channel, and do the same thing for my socials. And then it's kind of like flipping through windows. I go, phew, phew, phew. And then I go back to Resurrection Toys, finish the scans, double check that. Da-da. Then I get in, grind into work, like day job work. And then anytime I have more than 10 minutes of a break at work, I'm checking personals, YouTube stuff and Resurrection Toys throughout the day. I'll get messages throughout the day from Rolo and Marcos, depending on what's happening. And if it's a day where we're starting to work on shipping, no, there's always going to be, hey, I need to make sure this order is right, and I need to do this. Cool. And that's a weekday. On the weekends, usually I'm getting ready to do a live stream or a bunch of social stuff. If I have to create or track coupons for the website, I do that. Make sure that those go out. Like this morning, I put out a bunch of social posts to show off those Kraken pictures that I just showed. Make sure they go out to all the right places. Make sure they're formatted right. And when comments come in, likes come in, I'm checking those. And it's certainly on social media, you have people that follow you that aren't really people. They're robots. I block those. I report those. And when you're an up-and-coming company, there's a lot more. Apparently a lot of sexy ladies that really like our toys. Apparently. So I have a lot of fun kicking them out in the curb and stuff like that. And that's all on top of trying to maintain some semblance of social life, talking to all my friends, whether they're online, IRL, whatever. Once in a while, I try to eat, drink some coffee, drink some water, pick up packages if I have them, open those packages, break down boxes, take out the trash, all the stuff that everyone else does. That's a typical day for
We
me.
got the papers and the trash. Yakety yak.
No, you get no spending cash. Don't leave your stupid toys on the floor. You ain't gonna get no superpowers no more. Yakety yak. Don't talk back.
But yeah, it just sounds like you have just these your day is just packed like that. And on top of that, you have to have meetings with all the different people who are working for you at Resurrection
Oh yeah,
Toys.
that too. Oh yeah,
And
that too.
and this takes up so much of your time, Jim. So it means that the fact that you actually are here on the show with me today, or even in the chat when you're not on the show, just is extra special to me, because I know that your days are just packed, and it's hard to find the free time to be able to do like what you're doing with me now. And I just want to tell you that I appreciate that so very, very much, Jim.
Yeah, I didn't even mention Patreon, and you brought up the Resurrection Toys meeting. So you're right. I'm busy. And every
Yeah,
time that I'm
those,
doing
now I'm going to tout Patreon for a moment. I have a Patreon. Jim has a Patreon. If you don't want to patronize me, patronize Jim. If you don't want to patronize Jim, patronize me. If you can patronize the both of us, that'd be even greater. But Jim, if I'm not mistaken, do you do weekly Patreon only meetings with your Patreons?
minimum bi-weekly, more often than not, we get together once a week.
And a lot of times that's on Saturday, is it not?
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah. And every once in a while, you may even see good old me in there.
That's right.
A lot of times on Saturdays, I have other things I want to do. And one of the main things I like to do is support my friend John Paul Revere over at the Ancient Order of Men at the Ancient Order of Men live stream, which took a week off last week, but came back with gangbusters last night. And he's just absolutely upped his game over there. And one of the things that he's going to do, Jim, is he's going to start moving to Rumble, because YouTube has just not pushing his videos like they should be, and he's not getting the subscribers that he needs. And it's just, and I'm wondering about that myself. Have you tried Rumble, or can you give me some ideas about what you feel about moving to an alternative to YouTube?
Well, I will say that a lot of people that were over on Twitch are now moving to YouTube because of some moves that Twitch has been making. And having looked at all the alternatives that are out there, unfortunately, YouTube is still probably the best one to be on in terms of visibility and user base. So although Rumble might be a good alternative at first, every time we see these, especially if they're a direct competitor to YouTube, the problem you run into is how do you drive people to that place, let alone yours, in the first
Hold
to
that
begin
thought
with.
just a second.
Sure.
Bjorn is heading out. I want to tell Bjorn I appreciate you so very much for everything that you do for me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah. The problem isn't that you can build a great space to do business, but if you can't get people to be aware of that space in which you're doing business, it doesn't matter how good your stuff is. And that's what you run into with any YouTube alternative is that the saturation in the marketplace for YouTube is so high. And Google's been trying very hard to keep YouTube even remotely profitable because they usually break even or lose money every year on YouTube. That's a fact. Um, I don't want that to be the case, but it is true. And even though I hate what a lot of YouTube is trying to do to bridge that gap, I do understand what they're trying to accomplish. They just want to make sure that it stays relevant and it stays practical for them to operate. Um, Many of the other endeavors that they have under their uh, umbrella that haven't worked, they scrap within 3 years. Despite taking losses the majority of the time they've owned it, they've kept YouTube going because they recognize that it is something that they just have to figure out the formula so that it can be a viable thing for them. They know how valuable it is for them. And that's why we always see these algorithmic changes that piss all of us off, that piss me off, the whole push
Mm-hmm.
of shorts and everything. They are throwing shit against the wall to see what will stick, but I guarantee that once it sticks, it'll settle down at some point to a certain degree. And
Well,
if
but we
you
saw the
know,
same thing with Facebook. You know, Facebook wanted to compete with Twitter and wanted to be
right,
a be all everything site, so that they put everybody else out of business and they were the only game in town. And what YouTube is doing is trying to compete with TikTok right now, and that's fine. But I don't even like TikTok. I don't
I
have
think
to. I
I
don't do
honestly feel
TikTok.
like with the shorts thing, honestly, it really should be a toggle. You should be able to put out shorts, and people can choose to see those or not. And so the people that are only interested in that, they should be able to press a button at the top of the YouTube app and only see that and then switch back. Because there are times that I do like scrolling through shorts of people that I'm subscribed to. Some of them are very funny, but I don't like them integrated in with the long form stuff. I don't need that. And
Right.
so I understand why they're going in that direction. It's an unfortunate byproduct of the current generation of media intake. I understand it. I don't like it. And I understand why it has to be there. I just feel like there should be easier to curate this stuff. And I think that's the biggest problem YouTube has is giving people the ability to curate content and not have to work around with private playlists and shit like that. I
Well,
think
you
if they
know,
figure out a way to curate,
speaking
it'll
of
be easier.
shorts, speaking of shorts, there, Jim. If I'm not mistaken, they fixed it so that those of us, or not me, but like you, are monetized, are able to get tips on their shorts now, or tips by
Correct.
money tips. So uh, shorts, they're trying to make shorts a little more digestible for the monetized people, and try to get them to use them. And I know that the few times that I've released shorts, I have the shorts have been viewed by many more people than my long form content. And the only thing
Yeah.
that I've been doing with my shorts is trying to drive people to my long form content.
But that's the thing is that when I've put out shorts, I've had the same thing where I've gotten some great views, but the return on investment of putting that up I've maybe 3 subscribers total from like the 5 shorts that I've put out.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like a short is really hard to produce or anything, but if I'm not seeing the return, why bother?
Yeah.
Because
And that's
and
one of the reasons.
I
That's one of the reasons why I haven't released any more than what I have, is
well,
because
the other
I'm not
problem is the way
seeing
that you do
anything.
your shorts. They are meant to be viewed in a chronological order with the rest of your videos, and I don't sometimes get a notification on the short you've done until after it's irrelevant to the video you just put out. It doesn't make
Yeah,
any
and
sense.
that I've noticed that myself, and that's one of the reasons why I just I don't fool with it, because it doesn't fit in with what I'm trying to do.
Right.
If it did fit in, then it may be a good enhancement to what I'm
Sure.
already doing, but
And
it's
I think that
not
the
working.
other lost piece of it, and this is something that I feel that whoever cracks the code on this will make a big difference. In that, um, whoever can figure out the format or content type that in shorts that would work in tandem with a long form / live streaming nostalgia based content, whether it's retro gaming, toys, film, whatever. If you can figure out a way to make shorts integrate well within the library of content that one creates for their channel, to where it not necessarily has to be seamless, but where it can be complementary, I think that there's a way to do it. I just haven't figured it out myself. And the first person that cracks that code is gonna make a lot of fucking money.
Well, Nolan brings up a really good point, and it happened today with Lax Sivrak. Was the notifications on YouTube are terrible, and they're absolutely rotten. And Lack didn't
Yeah.
even get his notifications today, and it hadn't been for Gilster, he wouldn't have known that I was even on today,
And I
which
can
is
speak to that. That probably has to do with um, server load, because they can only do so many push notifications per second, per minute, per hour, and stuff like that, and they have to prioritize them. And then live stream notifications end up getting lost in the sauce because the live streams make the least amount of money for Twitch versus videos and shorts that people
YouTube,
will
not
rewatch.
Twitch.
Right. So I think from that perspective, I mean, again, I don't like it, but you have to prioritize that kind of push traffic. And when you consider that there's like what 6 hours of content put out every second on YouTube, um, I can't imagine what it's like to manage that stuff. So I'm not apologizing for YouTube, but I am saying that I get where the problems that they're trying to solve, and I recognize they're legitimately trying to solve them, even if they come out tone deaf and not creator friendly or user friendly.
Yeah,
I just hope they
and
figure it out, man.
well, surely, hopefully someday they will. Right now, I'll go ahead and put this out here too, and if anybody in the chat or you, Jim, want to talk to me offline about this, I would appreciate it. But right now, my channel has gone and plateaued,
Yeah.
and some of it's my fault, because I'm just not able to put out weekly content like I should
I
be
will
doing.
ruminate on that while I'm in the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'll go ahead and keep on talking while he's doing that. My channel's plateaued. I'm not getting the subscribers weekly that I was getting a month ago, and my content's not getting pushed like I would like it to be. And part of the reason is because I'm not releasing weekly videos in addition to this live stream on Sundays. So I'm going to try to up my game a little bit on that. My time is limited, and it's really, really hard for me to do that. Some of my videos do well and some don't. You guys that appreciate my magic videos, I hate to tell you this, but my magic videos are some of the worst performing videos on my channel. So magic may become a thing that's very rare, or that I only do on live streams from now on, because people just don't want to watch magic video. So the discussion video that I did afterwards, I'm going to continue to do that. It didn't do very well, However, the in-depth analysis of the original storyline video did pretty good. So I'm at a loss as to what people want to watch and are able to watch here on my channel. So any feedback that I get from you guys, I would appreciate. You can contact me through my contact email that's on this on the about part of my page if you want to, and I will get back with you probably in my regular email. That's just a catch box. But anyway, and those of you who know how to contact me directly, you can contact me directly through Instagram and through my Facebook Messenger for my page, Weird Fantastic Toys on Facebook. I would appreciate all the input I can get. Patreons, you know how to contact me through Patreon. And patrons, those of you who are patrons that are in the channel now, I want to do more hangouts on my Patron. But the problem is that it's hard to do that because you guys are patrons of several different other people. And I understand that. Help me to find a good time for you guys so that I can do something patron-wise with you guys to make my Patron page something that would attract even more patrons too. And Gilster says, sorry, I've been busy with family. Well, we understand that. Family always comes first, my friend. And yeah, the terrible notifications. And Michael Purvis says he'll share the links for me. I appreciate that, man. And I'm trying to get better about putting stuff on Twitter and Facebook before I put it here on YouTube, so that those people can come in that have me in their feed or get pushed my information on those two places. I'm not a social media hog, which means that I'm not on TikTok and I'm not on these different alternative social medias that some of these other people may be on. I have a hard time dealing with Twitter to begin with, but I do it as a necessary evil. Facebook, I don't like Facebook either. Those of you who are friends with me personally on Facebook can see that I'm not. And I interact mostly on Facebook through Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures page.
What I will say is that, you know, a lot of people talk trash about Twitter, and I understand that. I completely understand that. But I will say this. If you don't like Twitter, but you do like Bill or me or any other creator that is on Twitter, do yourself a favor. Create a burner account, put it on your phone, follow that creator or creators you want, put them on notifications, and then their push notifications are very solid and very consistent. Mm-hmm. So as long as we do our due diligence in putting on Twitter the videos and live streams that we're doing, you will get those notifications every single time, especially if it's only a handful of people. That's how I navigate Twitter. I follow lots of people to support them, but the ones that I'm most interested in hearing from, I turn notification bells on Twitter for them. Those notifications work. I don't get a lot of crap in my feed. I don't even go to the home feed. I don't even look. I have a plugin in my browser to block trends and to block who to follow and all that crap. Mm-hmm. So I keep the crap to a minimum. It's an easy way to engage. It's a good way to promote. But if you're just a viewer and you want to keep up on stuff, it's a good way to do it. No one's asking you to go into politics or any other shit that is out there. Pardon my French. But it can be useful.
That's justified. That's one of my problems with Twitter is the fact that everybody over there is so polarized, and that anything that you say or do can cause the Twitter mob to come and mob you, and it's not, and all that's unnecessary. Like I said, the only thing I use it for is to push my notifications, and if you don't like Twitter, like Jim said, just subscribe to who you like to subscribe to and ignore all the rest, and just get your notifications.
Mm-hmm. 100%. And that works for a lot of stuff.
And Jim Largo says he's a creature of habit. So am I. Just a few favorites on YouTube and chats that I haunt. And I'm the same way, Jim Largo. I'm the same way. And Nolan says it's a good idea, Jim, because I'm not on Twitter or Facebook, but I do have the Messenger. Yeah, and the Messenger on Facebook is the best way to contact me. It may be the next day, early in the morning, right before I walk into the building at work, when I answer you back on there. But I will always answer back those who Facebook Messenger me, and I'm getting better about checking my Instagram, because Instagram is very, very popular, and I am on Instagram. I don't post a lot over there because you have to post pictures to be able to post over there. I haven't figured out any other way except to post pictures from the camera on my phone. And I'm not downloading BlueStacks onto my computer. I'm just not doing it.
No, you don't got to do that. There's a desktop way to do it, because the Instagram website now allows you to post from your computer. It took them a long time, but now you can do it. It's a big plus sign on the upper left.
Okay, I'll have to check that out, Jim, because
that's how I do the when I post my title cards. That's how I do it, or through something called Buffer, which doesn't cost anything. Either way.
Okay. Well, the other thing that upsets me about Instagram right now is the fact that it's not integrated fully with IF triple T. If this then that.
It's the reason behind it is because of the way that Instagram posts. You have infinite number of options on filters and stuff like that, and there's not an automated way to bypass that. So even when you use if this then that or Buffer, in some cases it'll say, okay, we've prepped the post for you, now you have to go over to Instagram to finish it, which is a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if there was a way to automate going to Instagram to post something, I would probably use it more often than I do. And it isn't because I'm lazy; it's because my time is money, and I don't like wasting my time doing the same thing over and over and over again. And that's just the hacker that lives inside of my body. I want to automate everything that I can possibly automate so that I don't have to waste my time reinventing the wheel over and over and over and over again. And Jim, I know you understand that too, because you have to deal with the same exact issues.
Yeah, and it was actually at one point I did a tips and tricks for Twitch streamers on someone else's channel. It was a bigger channel. And one of the things I talked about was using if this then that to automate. But this was 4 years ago. I was like, the one thing it's going to snag on you is Instagram. So it's you can use it in tandem with Buffer, and then that tends to work. But Buffer has limitations. IFTTT has limitations. There's no 100% turnkey way to do it. So it really comes down to like the old guys that would take PA systems and you'd be patching things together and splitting this into that and wires. The Radio Shack mindset will serve you. You just gotta figure out what you want your end goal to be and work your way back from there. And
yeah,
it's a lot of duct
I'm going to
tape
figure
and
something out. I'm going to figure something out. I'm the type of guy that can figure that kind of crap out, think outside the box, think of some kind of workaround. But eventually, I'll figure out how to automate the way things are pushed over here, and maybe get you guys some notifications on different platforms besides just YouTube. And Largo asked this question, Jim. Are we planning on doing a team up for Halloween or Christmas? It hadn't even occurred to either one of us, I don't think, to do something like that.
But I will say that around Halloween is when we plan to unleash the Kraken's final sculpt, because that's our deadline. That's right. I'm glad you caught that. And of course, as our brand ambassador, Bill would be more than welcome to come on to that show with us and give his reactions in real time.
Yeah.
So that would be how
it just has to be a time when I can actually attend.
Right.
A lot of the live streams that have been released from Resurrection Toys have occurred during times when I'm at work. So I have to watch the restream of it later. But anyway, no, I haven't planned on anything special for Halloween, but you never know what might just occur to me. You know, a lot of what I do is on the fly, and maybe I should do better on that. But whenever I plan something, it never goes right. But when I don't plan anything, it always tends to go a lot better. I don't
And what I'll say
understand.
about now with Halloween, Retropalooza is that weekend. So that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like I'm not doing any live streams.
Yeah.
But I will plan to be doing. I was planning on doing it on Halloween in the evening after work, because for those that have kids and the kids are going out trick or treating, sometimes the one gets to stay home, or they want to watch something while they're waiting for the kids to return with bags of candy. So that's when I plan to do it, or right around there. So.
Well, I don't have very many people left in the chat, but some people watch this on Restream. I don't know, but before we leave today, Jim, let's play, and
Okay.
play is fun. It's always fun to play, and I want you guys to see some things that I have planned in the future. And Halloween's a good time to think about costumes and wearing different things that you don't normally wear. So let's see what box I put this in. Oh, by the way, Cape Master sent me this little happy in my cape order. So he does send happies with all of his capes. So you guys can check that out when you get your capes in the mail. That he will send you a little happy. Let me see what box I have. Here it is. I bought this recently from an Etsy seller that sells dollhouse accessories. And I'm going to reveal it to you in just a second, and we're going to see if it'll fit on He-Man. I think it will. And I may have to get a little bit of magician's wax to make this work the way I want it to. But first we have a little chef's hat. And it gets head there. I may have to get some magician's wax to make it stay. Yeah, I think I'm going to use magician's wax to make that stay. But I've also got a little apron here.
Where'd you get these from?
What was that girl's name? I can't remember. I think it's Magical Boutique or something like that on Etsy. Okay. So I'm going to tie this back here in the back. See if it'll fit around his waist and be able to tie it. I may have to add some more string to it to be able to.
You might even just use magician's wax to glue it together.
That's a good idea.
And while you're prepping the wax, I got a Halloween related question for you.
Okay.
Are you into horror movies at all?
Yes. It all depends upon the type of horror movie. Let's just say that there's a horror movie called Bloodsucking Freaks, if I'm not mistaken. I hate that type of horror movie. Now, the Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th type horror movies are more my style.
Okay. With that in mind, did you like the original Hellraiser?
I did. I like Clive Barker's stuff quite a bit.
Okay. They did a reboot and remake reimagining all in one of Hellraiser. It was much, much, much closer to the original book. And you're never going to top the first two films because they were the first two, but the tone is similar. You get to use all the tips and tricks of modern filmmaking, and on top of everything else, we get a badass female Pinhead Cenobite, and the voice is no less threatening. It's a fun little story, and it's the best Hellraiser film I've seen since 1990.
Wow. Okay.
So, it's on Hulu. For free. Yes.
For free.
Well, if you have Hulu, you'll get it without commercials and stuff. But
okay. Now, is Hulu a paid service, kind of like Vudu or?
Well, Hulu is something that once you have the subscription, you have access to everything, and they used to have a free with ads. I don't know if you can still do it. Let me look. But you can get a lot. It's easy to get a trial, and if you go looking for it, like I have through Spotify, because I was paying for Hulu for a long time, and then one day Spotify, which I do pay for, offered me for the same price as a paid Spotify subscription. I get Hulu and Spotify together for like $10 a month, and that's easy. Free option. Let me see if I can find you a free Hulu option here.
Oh, he fell over. Get up here and stay standing up there, He-Man.
Okay, so they don't do a free option anymore, but they start at like $6.99. But they have a lot of stuff on there, and they're consistent. And I don't know if you've heard of these things. It rhymes with ad blockers. They do work very well on the browser for Hulu. So if you cast it, it's much easier. And they do have. So is your daughter still in school or no? Like college? No.
No, she's got a full-time job.
Gotcha. Well, if anyone has any college email addresses, you can get it down to $1.99. But $6.99 is not bad for what you get out of it. And plus, they do the trials and all that. So if you're just looking to see Hellraiser, get you a 7-day trial, check it out. And there's a ton of stuff on there. Hulu's that weird place where a lot of the TV shows and movies that they offer, like you forget that those exist. And you're like, oh crap, I want to watch that. So it's worthwhile for sure.
I am looking right now to see if I can find this lady's card so that I can tell you guys where I got this cute little stuff from.
Yep.
I think
Nolan in chat's saying about Canada VPN. Nolan, if you're looking for a good VPN, Malwarebytes, who does all the malware and virus scanning that I like, they started doing a VPN service that's very affordable and it's very consistent and it doesn't screw with your throughput. So I would recommend using Malwarebytes. I've also had good luck with I'm trying to remember the name of the other one. Just use the Malwarebytes one. It's much better.
Okay. Here's the Etsy shop here. See if I can get this to focus.
Many Things Boutique.
Yes. And
so the vendor that makes the Motu stands, DJ's the man, and I believe I have the short code on my website is grindheadgym.com/Motu stands is probably what it is. And if not, I can make it happen for you. And if you can't find it, I'll just link you. I'll find the link. It's in the description on that video as well.
Many Things Boutique on Etsy is where I bought the chef hat and apron from. So the other thing that I got that I'm kind of I had the Bray Wyatt figure, and he comes with a hat, but his hat is the Mad Hatter's hat from Alice in Wonderland. But I have a top hat here for Orko so that he can do magic tricks with a hat. And what I want to do is I want to find a little tiny rabbit, preferably one that's flocked that can sit right inside that hat. I haven't found one yet, but eventually I'll find something like that and I'll put him in the hat. So Halloween related, that's about what I have planned on Halloween, but I do want to get the barbecue grill out and let He-Man have a barbecue here shortly as well. So I think the apron and the hat just look cute as hell on He-Man there. And I'll take that back off and get me back over here. And we got 6 more people in the chat. We picked up some people. So I'm glad that everybody showed up today. I'm glad you showed up, Jim.
A pleasure.
Like I said, I don't have Christmas is too far down the road to think about right now, but Jim and I may bump heads at some point or another about something Largo. I don't know. I know that every year that my figures usually end up having a Christmas party. Jim, you saw it last year. They had a Christmas party and everybody showed up, and I think that's where Zodak ended up finding the orb of prophecy. If you remember that,
yes,
we got that as a Christmas present.
And
Let's
I
see.
always do. I always do streams on Thanksgiving and Christmas morning for people.
Thank you, Largo. You're very amusing, sir. Witty, witty. Motu stands. There you go. Grindhead Jim has given you the place to get the Motu stands. Muchas gracias. De nada.
And you get 15% off with the code Grindhead Jim.
Hey, and that's the good thing about being famous there, Jim. You end up having all these relationships with these different places.
No, it's the good thing about just asking. He didn't know who I was. I just said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna feature these in a video. Can I give him a coupon code?" And I like, I don't know, like 10%, and he gave me 15%. And I didn't. I shut up before he changed his mind. So I'm not famous. I just ask people.
Nolan says it's fixed to be Thanksgiving in Canada for him. Well, happy Thanksgiving, sir. I can't wait for Thanksgiving. I like all the eating.
Yeah, what do you guys eat in Canada for Thanksgiving? You eat like duck or French Canadians? Like, what do you eat?
I would say geese.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I figure Canadian geese, they probably have citizenship, so they're probably protected. No.
I know they're protected here. If you kill a Canadian goose where I live at, you're going to go to jail, Jack.
I mean, that's fair. I like Canadians. He said
But,
pretty much the same thing. Okay.
But Thanksgiving food is the kind of food that you only get it at Thanksgiving. I'm talking about turkey and dressing, and there's a difference between dressing and stuffing. I don't know if you knew that or not, Jim. But the
Sure.
stuffing is stuffed inside the bird and cooked with the bird. Yuck. We don't like it like that. We like what we call dressing, which is made in a dressing pan, and you put it in the oven. It's made with cornbread and buttermilk and all kinds of different stuff chopped up and put in there, and yum. And the gravy, I don't like giblet gravy, although I will put giblet gravy on things. My wife makes this wonderful gravy with my mother's recipe. It's a white chicken or turkey gravy. And I put that on, and I like to have mashed potatoes with my dressing. I know that's more carbs than necessary, but look, it's Thanksgiving. We kind of overindulge. You get that cranberry sauce, and you slice that cranberry sauce up. It comes out of the can. It's all round and everything. You slice up the little round, and you take that cranberry sauce and you put it on there, and then you mix it all together. You mix all that turkey and dressing and gravy and cranberry sauce. You mix it all together into this wonderful. Oh, it makes my mouth.
You know what my weakness is? You know what my weakness is for Thanksgiving? Brown and serve roll.
All right. We don't do the brown and serve rolls. We do these Parker House yeast rolls here.
Yep.
They come in this pan.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then sweet potatoes. And I know people do sweet potato casserole. My wife doesn't do sweet potato casserole because she knows how I like my sweet potatoes. You big chunks of sweet potatoes, and you have this. It's cooked when it's cooked. I don't know what sauce she puts in it. She does butter and sugar and brown sugar and cinnamon and yum and sweet peas, the little baby sweet peas. And my plate overflows because I put all this crap on it. And then you have the deviled eggs on the side.
You can have those. Fuck eggs. Sorry.
Now look. There's a secret to deviled eggs.
I don't like eggs at all, though. So.
Oh well, I hate to hear
it's the
that.
Paprika.
But, hey, for each his own. But the secret to deviled eggs is to don't put damn pickle relish in that crap, and don't put onions in it. You take the yellow out of the egg and you chop that up real good and get it all going. And you put you some mayonnaise in there, and then you squirt 2 squirts or 2 of mustard in that to give it some color and flavor. And then you put a little black pepper in that, and that's it. All you have to do then is scoop it back into the eggs, and kind of sprinkle a little black pepper on top, maybe a little paprika, to give it some color. But and then there's the dessert. You got pumpkin pie, and then you got pecan pie, and my wife likes to make a cheesecake as well. And oh my God, by the time I get through, I crawl into the living room and get on the couch and go into a
Carb coma.
tryptophan coma.
Yeah, tryptophan carb coma. Now, for the pies, can I make a small suggestion?
Yes.
Cool Whip recently came out with a zero sugar Cool Whip. And I took the plunge. It's no more expensive than regular Cool Whip. And I'll be damned if it doesn't taste exactly like Cool Whip.
Good to think.
You cut the calories where you can, man. And
understand.
And it's one of those things. Oh, yeah, Will, have a great one, man. It's always good to see you, brother.
All right, you take it easy, Will. And
he's got
Nolan
a video
says,
coming. I'm not going to spoil what it's about, but the video he has brewing, which is going to be a doozy.
All right, I can't wait. Nolan says pretty much the only difference between Canadian and U.S. Thanksgiving is the dates, and we don't have the whole Pilgrim story. Okay.
Oh, so in Canada on Thanksgiving they tell the truth. That's amazing.
Okay. All right. For me, it's all about the eating, Jack. I mean, I eat myself into a coma,
So I cook on Thanksgiving when I have people to cook for. When it's just me, I don't mess around too much. I'll either get something that's somewhat pre-made if I do want turkey. But this year I kind of decided what I want. And it's a little slice of home, but it's a weird slice of home. And I'll explain it. It's not nearly as in-depth as the dinner you have. So in Western Pennsylvania, where I'm originally from, there's a diner chain called King's. We also have Eaton Park, and they're direct competitors to like your Denny's and other stuff like that. And to us, Denny's were the interlopers. Eaton Park and King's were like the shit. And with King's, it crosses that line from diner to family restaurant, and it rides that line very well. You can get just about anything there. And because of where I was working at the time, I would always pass a King's to and from work. And it was very, very common for me on payday to stop at the King's on the way home and have dinner. That was kind of a little treat to myself. One of my favorites was fried clams. I had some of the best fried clams in the area. And I would always get fries, and I would get brown gravy on it. Well, I guess I was over enthusiastic. I said, "Yeah, gravy on all of it. Just gravy. Give me lots of gravy." And I guess the way that it was interpreted, I meant wanted gravy on every single thing, including the clams. Now, imagine my surprise when the plate arrives and there's brown gravy on fried clams, and I think this is not going to go well, and I'm not going to send it back because I probably said something wrong.
I bet it went very well.
It went so well that became the tradition. And I would make it a point to say, make sure you put gravy on the clams. And they're like, what? And I said, trust me, that stuff is delicious. You can get decent fried clams frozen from CPAC. You put them into an air fryer, overcook them just a little bit so they're nice and crispy. I have yet to do the gravy with these, but I guarantee you it's going to taste amazing. Making gravy is easy with one of those little packs. It doesn't have to be crazy good stuff. I can make fries very well in the air fryer. So my Thanksgiving this year is going to be a gigantic platter of fried clams and French fries with an amazing amount of beef gravy on top of them. And I'm going to just be happier than a pig in slop, I'll tell you. That's what I'm doing.
It sounds amazing there, Jim. Like I said, the eating is what gets you right there. All that eating at Thanksgiving. And I've gotten to the point where I only eat once a day now, and it's usually a small meal for supper. So Thanksgiving is my one day to really super indulge. And then we do it all over again at Christmas time. It's the same food at Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas will be different. I'm going to try and think of something. Now, on Thanksgiving, every holiday there are certain movies I like to watch. Thanksgiving, I got a 2 for at a minimum. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, because it does occur at Thanksgiving. and because at the end of that film, I don't like to think of John Candy as a homeless person, so I watch Uncle Buck right afterwards.
There you go. Well, Die Hard is one of my Christmas movies.
That's a Christmas movie. I'm talking Thanksgiving now. Christmas,
Oh,
that's
Thanksgiving.
different.
Okay, Thanksgiving movies. Okay, yeah. Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. This is a Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah. Now for
And Uncle
Christmas,
Buck,
I always start Christmas movies. Lethal Weapon occurs at Christmas, and then Die
it
Hard is like
does.
2 or 3 down the list because I try to like genre hop a little bit. So you got Lethal Weapon, you got Gremlins, you got Silent Night, Deadly Night, the original one. The second one's even better. High Radical Toys. Good to see you,
Good to
brother.
see you, man. Glad you stopped by to say hi. And going out with a bike ride with your daughter is always a good thing because family comes first.
But I will say this: if you haven't seen it, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is the definitive Christmas horror film. And it might even be the definitive Christmas film for one simple reason. In one of the opening scenes, they're in a department store. And there's an extended scene where behind the shopkeep, you can see a boxed Castle Grayskull and a boxed AT-AT just
Oh,
behind
wow.
him.
Yeah.
And I just paused the movie for like 10 minutes and just stare at him just like, because I'm just so enthralled by that trash.
Yeah, that's worth seeking out just to see that.
Absolutely.
I was thinking the original Tales from the Crypt movie that has
Yes.
the old Santa
Yes.
Claus in as a serial killer
That's
bit
a good
in it.
one.
And that was actually based on one of the old comics. It was a comic
Yes.
story. Yes.
And I have that DVD set. If you go looking for the Tales from the Crypt DVD set, you can usually find it for around $30. And they're great transfers, lots of great special features, and it's great to just pop one of those discs in an afternoon. I love that show. And the
The
creep
TV
show that
show,
they
yes,
have.
the movie came out many years before it was ever a TV show.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that sequence from the movie was redone for the TV show or not, Jim.
Yeah, it was redone for the TV show. That was the pilot episode,
Okay.
and in the film, it was a British film that was done in the 70s, and then
Yes.
that kind of lit the wick of the candle for Romero and King to do Creepshow,
Uh-huh.
which it all comes full circle. Tales from the Crypt was made off the backs of the crew of Freddy's Nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time they'd gotten to Tales from the Crypt, they knew how to make that formula work financially. So that's why Tales from the Crypt did so well. And HBO believed in it, and they could go a little bit further. Now, you fast forward, 20, 30 years, the Creepshow show on Amazon Prime is really good. It's really good.
And Adam, yes, I did get them. Unfortunately, they were not exactly what I was looking for. If you go back and rewatch the stream at the very beginning to see my beginning, I was able to take what you had sent me before, the original, and cut the part that I wanted to have the way I wanted it to be from that. I was just kind of hoping to get that cut from the your original stuff with that maybe a little bit before the part where the fantasy goes away and the title starts shooting out at me. But if you go back and rewatch the beginning of this stream on the replay, you'll see what I'm talking about when you see that. But I appreciate the effort, man, and you do awesome work, man. And I appreciate you.
He does.
But yeah, were you able to catch the beginning there, Jim, and see what I had done with the opening on the show today? Did you?
Yes, I think it's much punchier. It's very good.
Mm-hmm. I've gotten to the point where I don't think I need to wait as long. Now, what I did do is start the show earlier than 12 and just have the stream waiting card up with a little bit of background music playing in the background, and then at 12 start the show up with the opening. And I kind of took a page out of your book, and folks, y'all tell me if it worked. If it didn't work, I won't do it anymore. But I put the title card up right before my face shows up.
Yeah, and the reason that I do that for the Resurrection Toy stuff, because we don't yet have an intro. Um, I don't yet know what I want there. I haven't made a decision yet. So that's why I do the title card.
Yeah. Kind of. I'm kind of thinking about trying to find some royalty free metal music that I can play over the logo, and just kind of.
Um, the YouTube music library is not horrible for that. Not
Mhm.
horrible. Um, but again, me being the grind head, I can't just put any old heavy metal music on my stuff. Because
No.
if it's too generic, it's like, because even the music I have on the intro now, I don't like very much.
Right.
Um,
Right. Well, if you come up with a better solution, please
yeah,
send me either links or the actual MP3 file, and I'll
sure.
use that. But in the meantime, I've got to have something to work with for my prototype or what I'm working on as far as the commercial that I'm going to actually show on my show. And I'm going to try to mock Jeremy Hambley as much as I can. Huge shout out to today's sponsor. And then it cuts to a video with me with entirely different clothes on and a different hat. And then I'm
You know what
going
you should do? You
to
should go to a Goodwill. You should go to a Goodwill and find you like a plaid tweed sports jacket.
yeah, yeah. Well, I actually own those, so I might be able to find one in there to wear, a shirt, a plaid shirt, and like I said, entirely different hat, entirely different shirt. Excuse me, and then have some videos of the toys and kind of pan across them as I say what all's going on with Resurrection Toys, and then cut back to me, and then that's kind of what I wanted, what's in my mind to do, and then fix that so that whenever I do a video, I can cut that in at any point that I wanted to.
Yeah. And no one's asking, say, hey, you work something on Lamb of God for an intro. It's like, well, I've met those guys. I don't know them very well. But I know a lot of bands, and I've worked out deals with those bands to use their music. That's not the problem. That's easy. The hard part is the automated copyright system, and then you have to appeal it, show them the documentation, and it's too much work to justify using something that you have to have licensed. So I do
Uh,
have a perpetual license with that I've been able to use, but it's not appropriate for everything. So I might do that with the one band that I can use.
Let me talk to Rolo there for a minute there, Jim,
Sure.
and somehow we're going to have to work something out because I know how things are being shipped from down there. He wants my address, and I'm going to give it to him. But just know that if you FedEx something to me and they leave it on my porch, by the time I get home, it may not still be there. And I know that you guys are having problems with being able to ship to APOs and PO boxes. And the PO box is where I normally get everything sent to because it's going to be there in the post office when I get off of work, and the porch pirates can't get in the post office and get my shit. So,
Right.
and we'll figure out something. I'm not in a big hurry for that stuff. I know it's coming someday, and that's all that I care about. And Carnival Barker Bill, yeah, Hambly has gone from established titles and stuff like that to touting his coffee company continuously now. So that's what he's doing. Said maybe we can work out something with Lamb of God for the intro. Well,
That's what I was talking
yeah.
about before.
Darren Chambers is in the house. Let me say hello to him. We're gonna. It's good to see you there, Junk Man. I had a good cartoon intro, but took it out. I got the feeling people got sick of it after 20 times a week. I remember that cartoon intro, Darren, and it was a pretty good intro, and I liked it a lot. But I agree with you. Things like that can get tiring, and that's one of the reasons why I've cut mine down to what it is now. Nolan says hi to the Junk Man. It's good to see him there. Masters Man Mexico. Yes, I have a lot of personal stuff in there. Yeah, like I said, Rolo, I'll get DM with you sometime today or maybe tomorrow, and we'll work out something. We'll figure out a way of you being able to send things to me. And not trustable granny in your neighborhood to send it to. There used to be, but they're all dead or moved away now. Who we got here? Two Arts Gamers. Hey, what's going on, Toe Arts Gamers? It's good to see you in the house. As I stuck on past the almost getting to the third hour of today's show, which we're having a marathon stream today, it looks like there, Jim. I have gained some more people who've come into the house, so I'm going to stick around for a little bit, and once again, I will show off the toy cam here and let everybody see that today He-Man has become a chef. That's one of the things that we did earlier today. So you guys that have just showed up, when this is over with, go back and restream. You can skip around in there. That's the nice thing about restreaming, and you can see some of the different things that we covered today. So we've just been having a good time over here today at Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. Today's adventure has been kind of long there, Jim, and we've covered so many different things. To the point where I've even forgot where we were at when I said hello to the chat just a minute ago.
I think that we were talking about different animations and things of that nature. But I think that was the sidetrack from wherever we were before. I think we're in that mold where we're just taking things as they come. I mean, I'm looking over lovingly at the bat copy that you sent, and thank you for that.
Show that off to everybody that just showed up
sure.
there, Jim. Let me take the overlay off the screen and make you big. Yeah.
So this is a Dark Knight Collection Batcopter that was repainted to look like the Superpowers, but it has a metallic sparkle blue in it, which is much nicer than the molded blue plastic of the old day.
It's almost like automobile paint, isn't it, Jim?
Yes, it is. And I'm going to be replacing this canopy with a reproduction, the yellow that looks like the original. And between that and the paint, this is going to be just a wonderful showcase piece in my collection, right alongside my original Dark Knight all black copter. I have the blades right here, but they're being protected in this bag, so I don't want to take them out. But it is a complete piece. It is beautiful, and it's a very kind thing that Bill has sent. He also sent a Paper Goods Trouble Alert, which I already resealed in the box. But rest assured, that's going to be...
Yeah, that was handmade by me. I actually made the pattern for that, so I made the whole deal. And that Trouble Alert, if anybody wants one for themselves, if you go to my blog and you go through the superpower stuff, it's kind of back there a ways, but you can find a post, an adventure on my blog where I have a PDF file that you can download that's got all the pattern in it. Now, here's the thing about doing paper craft. There are no instructions, and that's for a reason. Paper crafts generally do not come with instructions because part of the fun of paper crafting is figuring out how to put it together. So the pattern doesn't even have where you're supposed to cut the tabs on it. You have to figure that out yourself. I attempted a long time ago to make a video of me putting it together, and it didn't turn out so well. But now that I have the knowledge that I do now and the tools and everything to do it, I may do a video of me putting that together and post it because like we were saying earlier today, I need to put out some more content because my content's not getting pushed like I want it. And those of you who have just showed up, if you're not subscribed to me and your subscribe button is still red, please hit subscribe to me so that I can get my viewer count up. Like these videos, get in the comment sections and comment. If you want to give me some bad comments and tell me how awful I am, do it anyway. I don't care. I need the comments. It doesn't matter if you give me good comments or bad comments. If you like or dislike my video, it doesn't matter. It's all the same to the algorithm. I love that hat, Jim. I want one.
I was gonna, right? Yeah, got that from Redbubble last week. I
Oh, wow.
don't. I didn't wear it for the whole damn stream, but I have a matching T-shirt.
Let me put us back side by side there, Jim, and see what's happening here in the chat. It looks so good. Yes, it does. I loved that back copter, but I wanted an original. And I was telling Jim, you know, my wife, bless her heart, she can't understand having doubles of anything, and she was glad that I found somebody in a good home for it. Masters Man at Mexico says, I have this 500-piece sand crawler here, and now you tell me that there's no guide for building it. I guess I'm done. Oh, no. You can build it because you are a master craftsman at stuff like this. Give me your address and get your damn hat. I'm going to give you my address, and if you send it to me, I'm going to cross my damn fingers and hope that package is there at 3 o'clock when I get home from work, and it's not across town on the other side at some crackhead's house. I'll just leave it at that, because people around here are all that glitters, if you know what I mean by that. They're like pack rats, you know. Anything that glitters, they're going to take it home to their little den.
Pack rats? I don't know anyone like a pack rat.
But anyway, we're back down to 3 again. And I'm glad everybody that showed up did, Jim. Is there any thoughts that you'd like to say real quick before we end this marathon stream that's getting close to 3 hours?
Just that I love hanging out with you, whether it's in the chat or on camera on Sundays. It definitely reminds me that Sundays are a day to calm down and chill. It's a mandate on our company, Resurrection Toys, that we don't work on Sundays as much as we can avoid it. So we tend to leave each other alone and just enjoy the day. And that's what I plan to do. I've got some Halloween movies lined up, and then tomorrow I'll get back to the grind, literally and figuratively, and we'll have our show, and I hope to see everybody there. And always a pleasure to hang out, and I will take my leave of you with that, so you can close out the show and get some rest that you well deserve as well.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you showing up today, man. And I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Hope you have a wonderful week. And remember, together we shall triumph.
Special thanks to these supporters on Patreon. Without your help, these adventures would not be possible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's adventure, please hit like and subscribe and share the video.